Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live. Sarcasm City TV, YouTube. Another edition of the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A, where we answer sporting questions from the chat. Also discuss the latest transfer news, and as you can see from the title as well, Joao Pedro double. Two very good goals as Chelsea go through to the Club World Cup final, and they will take on either PSG or Real Madrid with that game going on tomorrow. There will be a watch along for that game as well on the Sarcasm City TV playback. So I'm sure not the vast majority of the questions, but there will be questions in regards to the Club World Cup and what all PSG or Real Madrid, despite who goes through, no matter who goes through from the semi-final tomorrow. So get your questions in. Remember of the channel, your questions will take priority like a super chat as well, people. So if you're a member of the channel, your question takes priority like a super chat. Link for the membership is in the pinned comment. But run up the likes. Make sure whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back after the live, hit the like button on the video. So important you do that. Share this out across all the socials at Sarcasm City TV on all socials, Twitter, Instagram. Also at Yes It's Flawless on Twitter and Instagram as well. Retweet, like, share. It all helps. And just as important, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Hit the notification bell when you do so. Big up to Warrior J. He's been kind enough to drop some of the news in the chat, because not only is there Chelsea news about their Club World Cup win, also Osherman news as well. Let's see what else is going on. I'm seeing some Embremo news there also. So reports, everyone just reaching and guessing and stuff. So this is Maresco on Chelsea getting through to the Club World Cup final. It's a great achievement. It's been a fantastic season. We are so happy. Goes on to say, we know that we have players that can do it, score goals like this. We need to help them get into situations to do that. We know Joao can do this. This is him on PSG and Real Madrid. They're both top teams, but we are proud. We are happy to be there. And this is Joao Pedro talking about the actual game as well. I think it was a dream first start for Chelsea. I don't think it could be better. 2 goals. Now we need to think about the final. I'm very happy to score 2 goals. I played for Chelsea. They paid me to score goals today. I was happy to score, even if it was against Fluminense. Obviously, Fluminense was his former club, or is his former club, I should say. He just said for me to play as I did the last game versus Palmeiras. Today, I think because I started, I had more time to do my stuff. The team won. The team played well. That's the most important thing. This is him on the final. It's going to be my first chance of a title as well. It's going to be very important and a special game. They can only give plaudits as much as, all of us outside of Chelsea fans, everyone in the country who had Chelsea to go out, pretty much. You can only give plaudits. Joao Pedro played very well, followed up a good performance against Palmeiras in the quarterfinal, and they were pretty comfortable. Fluminense offered next to nothing outside of the clearance off the line by Cucurella late in the first half. Other than that, there wasn't really too much. The penalty that rightly was given, but then the referee looked at the VAR and rightly turned it off. So yeah, Joao Pedro, good player, and it seems he's fitting Chelsea like a glove currently. So maybe Chelsea alongside Palmer, that will definitely help with their attacking problems as well. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, forgot about this. Anthony Alanga to Newcastle. Here we go. Deal in place, club to club with Nottingham Forest for 55 million. Agreement also in place with Players Camp on long-term deal. Excellent addition for Newcastle United. That's from Fabrizio Romano. I actually think that is a very good addition for Newcastle. The way they play, that fast and furious, pressing high, I think Alanga fits that to a T. They was obviously looking at other players, and Bremo being one. They was linked to Madueke. There was another winger they was linked to. Maybe they was looking for somebody who was technically better than Alanga, but he did get rejected by quite a few players, including Joao Pedro as well. So, but I think Alanga fits there. He fits, and I think the Newcastle faithful will love him. He fits, and Gordon on one side and Alanga on the other. That's got to be the quickest combo of wing. Is there a quicker pairing in the Premier League? I don't think there's a quicker pairing than those two in the Premier League. In particular, where they can both carry the ball but without the ball. If you get caught on the counter attack by Newcastle, I did Isak with that as well, who can also shift. It is absolutely curtains. Word to Saeed, the curtains on the wall. You are finished. You better sit in a low block against Newcastle. Because Lord of mercy, if they catch you on the counter attack, peak. Like Newcastle are gonna pack up a couple teams. They did last season, but Lord of mercy, they are, and they're in the Champions Leagues as well. They might do very well in the champ with teams that want to dominate the ball and press high, etc. Yeah, they could batter a couple teams. They really would batter a couple teams in the Premier League and do well in the Champions League. For real. They definitely could. Like, I'm not like, for real. I think it is a good signing for them. I do. I really do. Fats, let me write in a private chat and I'll bring you in. I don't know what Fats is on. Oh, yeah, Osimhen as well. Victor Osimhen has informed Napoli of his desire to get the deal sealed with Galatasaray ASAP. Galatasaray will pay the 75 million euro as release clause value, but negotiating payment terms in 5 years as exclusively revealed. Contract ready since Sunday until June 2028 plus option. That's from Fabrizio Romano. Where Fenerbahce, Galatasaray getting this bread from? Where are they getting this money from? I'm at a loss. What is going on? Maybe we was right when we was talking about the Turkish economy. Maybe everyone going over there for hairline transplants and BBLs has got the economy absolutely booming. Booming. I'm like, hey, props to them, and 65 million euros. It'd be interesting to see the wages. That's what I want to know. What is the wages? But I think that I 110% think that Osimhen going there, surprise. That's what I'd say. Super surprised that no top European club, when so many need strikers, went and got him. It must be the wages. It must be. Yeah, man, I lost. There was some Bremo news as well. What to get to? Where was it? There we go. Brian Bremo is growing increasingly frustrated as Manchester United weigh up their third bid for him. That's from at Standard Sport. Don't know how reliable a source at Standard Sport is, but if he is frustrated, wouldn't surprise me. But again, not worried, not concerned. Big up nephew in the chat. Big up to Warrior J says, if Caicedo is available for us, who do you think wins the final? By the way, I think he will be available, in my opinion. I think he'll be available too, but I got PSG. I think it'll be PSG. If it's Real Madrid, I can see you lot doing some friggin' Buki thing and scamming it and getting past the Real Madrid and beating them 1-0. I don't know what Fats is doing. He here with his camera zooming in and zooming out. I don't know what he's done. What are you saying, Fats? What you got?
No, good, bro. I know it's summer.
Has he froze for you, lot, or is it me? Let me know. Has he froze or have I froze? Let me know in the chat.
Yeah. That's what. No, I think
you broke.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back now.
There we go. Go on. Say what you're saying. Go on.
No, I just got a fan here, and then there's a desk fan as well. Just to be prepared, man. Because it's really hot, though. To be fair, it's really hot.
Are you planning on streaming? You launching a channel?
No, I wanna play PS5 on the side.
Ah, right. So how come you got a streaming setup? What happened?
No, it's just that area. It's just I got treadmill in that area, so that's why.
All right, cool. Fairs. All right, fair enough, Pats. Fair enough. Big up to Barrio. Good to see you, Barrio. Says Flawless, my G. Stoke, bro. Get ready for 4 years. Nah, I'm not ready, man. Actually, let's go to you, though. Thoughts, man? Through to the Club World Cup final. Thoughts on the game. Joao Pedro, talk to us.
He's the proper gunman that Chelsea's been missing off. And you know what? I was disappointed on how Fluminense performing well, even though I just feel that the age factor was kind of a bit different from today. I think from our perspective is that we just kept it professional. It wasn't too there's nothing any bit of special in that. It's just more to the fact that we just did our job, and I'm kind of like I don't feel any worry apart from that Sanchez howler in the first half that nearly costing us the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, he was Cucurella was there, and there was one moment that Sanchez was falling asleep in the back post when one of the cross come in, and then Joao Pedro had to clear him out. But apart from that, I don't feel any threat at all from Fluminense. If anything, we just defended well, and I feel like again, like the age factor thing is also coming to play as well. And I don't know if the stat is true that this Fluminense team probably the oldest squad in the tournament.
Yeah, it looked that way.
I was shocked that they've gone this far. than Man
I was
City.
super shocked. You lot were good, but they were terrible. Well, go on, carry on.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, we're in the final. People kept saying it like, "Oh, how come you're in the final?" Well, just ask Man City, just ask Inter Milan. How come? Like we were predicted to face Man City before this game,
Yes.
but what happened to them?
F Man City, glad they went out. Shout out to Al Hilal.
You just got to take advantage of what's ahead of you. Simple as that.
Facts. 100%. And yeah, the stream of the subs, nice. And yeah, the facts, I'm sure I'll be back on Pro Clubs. You lot get your questions in. No, it don't have to be about the Club World Cup. It can be as well. And run up the likes. Over 30 of you lot in the building. Let's get up to 30 likes, people. Let's go up to 30 likes. Hit that subscribe button as well. JC says, flawless, don't jinx it. Maintain the consistency. Say it. Chelsea will lose by 3 goals. I didn't say Chelsea will lose by 3 goals. I think PSG pack you lot up. But if it's Real Madrid, I can see you lot getting past Real Madrid. I don't know what it is. PSG, you lose to. But Real Madrid, I can see you lot winning like 1-0 or something like that. I really, really can. Trust me, I want to be wrong about the second part. Go on.
I've got a sneaky feeling that we might give a game to PSG as well.
So let me ask you then, since we're there, are you winning the Club World Cup?
Mm-hmm.
You winning the whole thing, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
First English teams to do twice, actually.
All right. Cool. And Tabario says, don't run away, hide if you win this tournament. No cancelling back again. Nah, definitely. I've already told Troops, man. Well, Troops already said it, and I already backed it up. If you lot win it, cancel the pod. 100%. I'll still be here making content, but gotta cancel the pod for like 4 weeks till the Premier League starts back. I'll say it like that. And Takwasi says, yeah, back to the Alanga deal as well, which actually means Manchester United get money also. Yeah, Isak, Gordon, Alanga running straight at you long. They are super. Like I said, in the Champions League in particular, with teams that away from home, they are going to smoke someone. Let me clarify what I said earlier. In the Champions League, they are going to smoke a team in the Champions League away from home. Alanga and Gordon on the wings.
Yeah.
Word Saeed, man. Curtains on the wall. Them teams that like to press up and play high. And you got Isak in that. And then you've got the likes of Bruno G and Tonali, who are good passers of the ball. Newcastle need to add more, but that's definitely a good signing for them. 110%. Because he gives them something different over there. He does.
That's the thing. I was shocked. I thought people, because last month I think a lot of people have been criticizing Newcastle for the lack of movement in the window, but I think it's more to the fact that they just waited for the right time.
Nah, because he got rejected by a few players. That's what it was. But I think Alanga he's different to a Jacob Murphy that they play over there. So that's what it is. Hey, big up Beijing Pops in the chat. Hey, Pops, if you want the link, let me know. I'll send you over the link. Let me know if you're about. But blessings. I hope you're good. Big up to Stephanie G as well. Yeah, they got Harvey Barnes as well. Murphy and Barnes is backup wingers. That's a good quartet to have. Murphy, Barnes, Gordon, Alanga. That is what it is. And Tabario says, if Chelsea win this Club World Cup, will you please pressure Troops to say London is blue? Because you got to have uncomfortable conversations for him. I think even if Chelsea lose the final, London is blue. Anyone who's saying London is in blue is hating. London's more lily white and blue than it is Arsenal red. And that's a whole uncomfortable conversations. People don't like that. It's more lily white and blue than it is Arsenal red. I'm just saying. The biggest European trophy that's gone there since 2021 has gone to the lily white and blue side of London. Am I lying?
No, you're not.
Am I lying? I'm just saying. The biggest trophy to hit there since 2021 has gone to the lily white and blue side. There's been no Prems. There's been no champs. Has there been an FA Cup? There's been no FA Cup. Oh, yeah. Palace did the FA Cup. But yeah, like the Europa League's big. I'm just saying. The biggest trophy to hit London in the past, like I said, since 2021. So the past 3 years, the past 3 years has gone lily white and blue. It's uncomfortable. But yeah, London's been blue.
West Ham won it before as well. West Ham. Yeah,
West Ham did as well. Palace, exactly. Yeah, I'll never admit it though, but we all know London's blue. London's blue. Like, it was without doubt. Must have slapped some claret there too. Yeah, you could argue that it's more claret than blue than it is Arsenal red. It's whole uncomfortable conversations. It really, really is, man. Over 50 of you lot in the building. Hey, let's get up to 40 likes now, man. Let's get up to 40 likes. I don't know the subscriber check. What is the subscriber check? Let's see. Where we at? think we're 5 off of like 15,220. I think. Double check. Let me double check this. Hold up. But hit that subscriber button, hit that notification bell if you have not, and that's whether you're watching live right now, watching this back. Maybe you're watching in a beautiful setup like Fats has, wherever the case may be. People, run it up. Yeah, actually, we're 7 short. I tell a lie. Let's get us up to 15,220. Over 50 of you lot in it. I know the 7 people who have not subscribed. Make sure you do so. Questions as well. This is about you lot. If these man win Sunday again, then I'm gonna try pull up Monday for back again. Oh yeah, absolutely. If these lot, because the final Sunday, isn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, honestly, I don't. Well, Fats has already said Chelsea are winning it. I think they lose to PSG, but Real Madrid, I can see them doing certain games. I don't know why. Because you lot have a pretty good record against Real Madrid, don't you? I know they've knocked you out once, but your record against Real Madrid is pretty decent.
Twice. They knocked us up twice.
Wait, when was the second time? I know Kante gave the ball away. I remember that one. When's the other one?
23. Then they lose to Man City 4-0 in the semis.
Nah, I'm talking about you lot. Did they knock you lot out before that?
Yeah, 2-0. 2-0 both legs. Lampard.
Right. To JC who says, oh, he said it. Champions Leagues need Chelsea. The excitement. Oh, yeah, Lampard. Yeah, your boy Lampard got knocked out. Rodrigo scored at the bridge, right? Was it 2-0? I remember. Oh, he said it. Champions League needs Chelsea. The excitement level is different. The tournament has missed us. Definitely not. Champions League last year was brilliant. I don't know what you thought. That Champions League last year, I've enjoyed that more than I've enjoyed most recent times. Probably my bias as well, to be honest. But PSG, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, Barcelona, them ties was great. Them 2 semifinals. Has there been a better semifinal than that in recent years? That Inter Milan, Barcelona, like both legs.
No.
That shit was incredible.
Not really.
PSG running the English gauntlet, running through all the English teams. Villa, Arsenal, Liverpool. They were 2 good ties as well, actually. The Liverpool PSG ties. Yeah, Villa PSG, that was quality too. Them knockout ties was super, super competitive. Hey, we don't need you lot in there. But unfortunately, you lot are there. But we move.
I just read the news
about the league. Go on. What you say?
I just read some news about Nkunku moved to Bayern Munich.
Talk about it.
Yeah, this is the links that have been there for a while though. I feel like when Bayern approached it for the first time, I feel like it's more the price. And ever since then, it was like the link kind of went down a bit. There was a few other clubs that trying to get Nkunku as well, including United. There was also rumors that he might go back to his boyhood club again, Leipzig. But and also there was a link going him to France as well. There's also Madueke links that have been there about with Arsenal. There's also links with Jackson's going to, I think he's one of the European clubs, but I have to read it again. But yeah, and I feel like it's the Club World Cup performances that's gonna attract attention to some of the clubs that they want to get some of these players from our team right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's upcoming exits after the Club World Cup, because I think that's what's going to happen to us.
So you reckon they're waiting for the Club World Cup to do certain deals and stuff?
Yeah,
like that?
100%.
Oh yeah, do you think you get Cudis? We ain't spoke about that. Do you think you get Cudis, even though he's saying that he prefers Spurs currently?
I've had this argument with the others about Cudis. The thing is that he just the way that he spoke about it. I feel like it's more to the fact they're just waiting for time before Chelsea can steal him from Spurs in the last minute. But at the moment, is that all the angles look like that. Okay, he said he might choose Tottenham, but you never know. I never see the bid yet from Tottenham. Like I know West Ham rejected our bid. It was a few years ago as well, but again, it's like I think it's a straight shootout with Tottenham and Chelsea for Cudis, and this is the player that I want the most, because if Madueke leaves, that I want Cudis to come in, be that game changer because because we haven't got any game changer on our team. So as far as people look at Joao Pedro and Liam Delap as an exciting signings, but at the moment, like, I'm looking for a player that can, let's say, if we have a situation where it's still a 0-0 or 1-1 draw, I need a game winner, let's say, and also he's a needle mover as well.
That's fair. Oh, that's definitely fair. That's definitely fair. Yeah, he's on smoke with it. Facts. You know what I'm saying? He's cold with the setup and that. He really is. JC says Arsenal result was a foregone conclusion. No excitement in that. 2 set pieces with a wrong wall. That's all. You're in the minority, man. Like most people, I enjoyed that game. I know most people did from an entertainment factor. And back to the original point, the Champions League overall. Champions League overall was fantastic. The knockout stages from an entertainment standpoint. Put club bias aside, games was fun. It wasn't a dull PSG game. That wasn't. As much as I despise Arsenal, that game was super entertaining. Super entertaining. And like I say, you in the minority on that one in regards to the competition overall. Who would you support to win the Premier League? City, Liverpool, or Chelsea? I won't mention Arsenal to be second. None of the above. Flawless, I'm looking at clubs around the world. Midfield, then I look at ours. Bruno, C4 footballer, that's funny. And garbage pivot, he says. What have we done to deserve this? It's football goes in cycles, man. It's just our time to be terrible. To Quas, that's just what it is, man. It's just that we haven't actually, most United fans, if you're of a certain age, if you're a 90s baby or less, maybe even mid to late 80s, you just haven't seen Manchester United bad. But if you talk to anyone who's before that, they've been here. Like when I talk to my pops, talk to my uncles, they've seen Manchester United beat worse than this and this bad. So, like, it's just that football goes in cycles, man. And it's unfortunate that we're living through this currently while we move. Big up Zipex says, big up Flawless in the panel and the chat. Hope you're all blessed. Hey, Zipex, big up, man, every single time. We're on top of them head to head, and we never lost the final against them 71 and 98. Is that you? Is that what is that? UEFA Cup? Did you lot? What did you lot win in 98? The Cup Winners' Cup. Okay, and what's 71? Is that the Cup Winners' Cup as well?
Yeah, Athens.
Jeez, man, even knew where it was. Yeah, man. Well, bar, it's just our time to be terrible. It's cycles, man. That's what it is. Like, it's our time, man. Like, you think it's gonna last forever. Genuinely. Like, all I've known is Manchester United being quality. Like my entire life up until this point. And it's like, oh shit, we do bleed. So it's just our time to be terrible, to answer his question. He's like, what did we do to deserve this? Ball goes in cycles. United will be back again. Whether it's in a year's time, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, 30 years, it will happen again. All teams go on droughts, man. Whether it's us, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, whoever the most successful team is ever, go check that they had a drought. And that's it. We've been worse than this. It just feels terrible because it's documented every single day. That's all.
It's just the worst one. Go on. It's just the worst one since 1986 before you hired Sir Alex.
Nah, it's because when we got relegated, which I believe was the 70s. I think it was the 70s. Don't quote me on that. I'd look in this book here, but I can't be bothered opening it up. But yeah, like that's it. Like it's again, I just understand that it's documented and we're talking, especially being in this fucking space. I gotta talk about this every day. So it just feels worse than what it is. Because beforehand, when United were bad, say like we had a period of we went through periods where we didn't win the Prem. So like the 3-year period when we didn't win the Prem, when Arsenal went invincible and you lot did the repeat. That felt horrible. But it would, if I was doing this at that time, it would have felt even worse. Because 3 years without the Prem, man hadn't experienced that ever. Not ever. So to do it, like when we went 1 year without the Prem, it felt like the world was ending. But to go 3 years, that had never happened before in my lifetime. So like that's where it kind of stems from. 30 years and Flawless was still. I hope so, man. Go on. What you saying, Jess?
The way you're referring it reminds me of the Beckham documentary in Netflix. Where
what did he say? I've not watched it. What did he say?
That game after that game after Real Madrid when they lost. Well, they actually won 4-3, but they lost a tie. I remember at that
in Old
time,
Trafford when Ronaldo scored the hat trick.
Yeah.
Trust to see
And
you just bringing up bad memories.
When he won the league, he said like he just need to find a new tune things that the way he said it in the press conference. I think after when you lot beat the Everton team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we scored in that game, didn't we? Did he score?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then so Alex came up in the press conference that he want to get rid of some of the players that they might it's not be there anymore. But yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, like it is. You have to see. See, I remember watching that live, fucking devastated. But here we are, still not over that. Some of them Champions League losses, fucking excruciating. What are you saying, Jez?
No, man, good man. This shit. I don't know what's going on with stream.
It's been playing up, family updating it and stuff like that, and adding things. So you're not the only one to have issues.
It just kicked me out, man. It just took me a couple of minutes to even get log in. I don't know, man. Well, hey, man, we good, man. We here, man. We here, man.
Well, yeah, you lot continue to get your questions in as well, because it's rare that Q&As ain't stacked, and everything. Surf, I'm not even bringing up that comment, but that's wild. I'm glad you're feeling better as well. So big up to Surfer every single time. Also, every single time.
I mean, looking for what's it called? I mean, looking like what's it called?
My facts are so unintentionally funny, you know, on my life.
What? I was in my color, man.
It's just you, man. You just crack me up on my life. You're just unintentionally funny. That's what it is. Sorry, Jess. Go on. What did you say?
Nah, I was saying, it's looking like Osman's going to Turkey, bro.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, because like
does he ask earlier? Go on.
Yeah. I seen it because Galatasaray is willing to pay the 75 million euros, and it's just that they're trying to figure out the payment structure over how many years and how much money they're gonna go and get. But it looks like it's gonna get done.
Yeah, over the 5 years.
Hey, man. Yeah. All right, Safa, how do you know, man?
You know what? I ain't gonna make the joke I was gonna make. I'll leave that to you two. Flawless, we should forget about Embramo and just get Cudis. Why Ibrahim? Cudis is gonna cost more, or probably the same.
It's the same.
It's the same price, and I think, and I rate Cudis. I think Embramo's better. So why should we forget about Embramo and get Cudis? Unless you think Cudis is better, and then if you do, let me know why. But they're gonna be probably the similar amounts. How about we just pay the money for Embramo? We just got 11 million from the Alanga deal. Was it 55? Yeah, so we just got 11 million. Yeah, it's 55 million, right? So yeah, we just got 11 million from that deal. So how about use some of that 11 million to add to the deal? Just use 5.
You even got 5 million from the
Sancho deal.
No, Sancho. No, not even from the Sancho deal. I'm talking about the Alvaro Fernandez.
So we got extra. We got 5 from Sancho. We got 5 from Fernandez, and we got 11 from Alanga. So we got extra 21 million.
Yeah.
So use some of the 21 million to get Embramo and pay off wages and keep it stepping.
What do you think? What do you think it is? Because honestly, I don't even think that they were waiting for the sale of Alanga to try to
definitely not.
Because for me, it's like if that was the case, then United are in a worse situation than we all thought they are.
Yeah, but it's not that. What do I think it is, Jez? With remaining as polite as possible, I just think these people are just. I just don't think they're very bright.
So what's the call?
They're terrible at it. You know what it is, Jez? I just think they're terrible at their job. If I'm being honest.
So you think it's DUI, man?
Yes, deeply unserious. Word to Alam, deeply unserious institution. That's what I think it is. That's all it can be. It can't be. All right, so we don't want to pay this extra money. Let's say hypothetically they don't want to pay the extra for him. Let's say hypothetically they don't. Well, you just got 11 from the Alanga deal. You just got 5 from Fernandez, and then you got 5 earlier on from Chelsea for Sancho. So you got extra 21. So if you don't want to pay this, surely you look at that 21 million sat there and go, all right, well, let's use this. Let's use this and add to the Embramo deal and then get it done. But again, it ties into my thoughts that I just don't think they're very smart. And I don't think they don't want to get better. I just think they're incapable. I just don't think they're smart. Like legit. That's all it can be with me remaining as cool, calm, and collected, and as polite about it as I possibly can, because I don't want to get my channel demonetized.
No, I heard because I'm trying to think like, what is, because you can't even use the excuse no more that it was waiting for the financial year to turn over, because the financial year it's been 8 days now. So you can't even use that. You can't even use that as an excuse more. So it's like, and I'm not even one of the people that try to take the piss about United taking like 5 months, or not 5 months, sorry, it feels like 5 months, but 5 weeks like to. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it feels forever that he's been linked to United and said to everybody that he wants to go to United. And I mean, to the point where Spurs is not even lurking anymore further, because he was willing to lurk for like 1 week and said, "Now we move on. It's what it is." But it's just really weird. It's just really weird, and we're talking about all the time when it comes to United, like. How many more things United even have to do? Forget even just the incomings, but also the outgoings, and it's like you start asking questions, and it's like, what's going on? To be honest, what's going on? Like, at least with the one thing with Tottenham, the reason why you probably don't hear a lot of that noise is because we have a new coach. We don't know, like, so there's a situation where like you have a new coach, so it's like we don't know what this team under this coach, where they're gonna finish, how much he gets out of this team. So it's like that question mark. So you can excuse Spurs for finishing 17th. Well, you can't necessarily excuse finishing 17th, but it's not the same manager coming into the season. So you can sit here and say, you know what, new manager, maybe he's getting more. He can actually get what the minimum what you expect from the team to be, which is like 9th, 8th, in my opinion.
But like that's it.
So like, I don't know. It's just weird. I just find this whole member thing just super weird, man, to be honest.
So Ibrahim, I want to know. You said we should forget about Embremo and get Cudis. Why, Ibrahim? Here's a Q&A. Well, you ask questions and we answer, but I also ask questions to the chat. Let me know. Yeah, let me know. I want to know, Ibrahim. Why should we forget about Embremo and go get Cudis, in your opinion? Genuinely, I want to show me the working out. You told me the answer, but I want to get to how did you get to that conclusion? Big up to Andy says, Flores, you think Amun should have given Rashford and Anthony a chance before sidelining them? First and foremost, big up to you, Andy. Hope you bless. You've been a member of the channel for a strong minute. No, he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have given. Well, he did give them he didn't give Anthony like a clear chance. He did Rashford. They're not good enough. So I ain't fussed. The fact that they both could be leaving is a step in the right direction. The problem is the sales and it being slow, but they're not good enough. Despite Amorim not being good enough, in my opinion, neither's Rashford and neither's Anthony. So no, it wasn't a chance thing. Let Anthony go to Betis and do his thing. Let Rashford go Barcelona, wherever, and do his things. I think Cudis is better technically and has 1 trophy. So you think Cudis is the better player? All right, fair enough.
I disagree personally.
I disagree too, but at least we got to the working out. Fair enough. Do you think there are serious disagreements in your club regarding direction? It can't just be incompetence. Also, up the Chelsea. Let's get this trophy. Big up to you, Koala, for the super chat. Is that Canada? I think it's Canadian dollars. So big.
It's Canadian. Canadian dollars.
Appreciated. Do I think there's serious disagreements in the club? No, I think it's just incompetence. I don't think it's a serious disagreement thing. Like, I don't, because you've known about this for a long period of time. Like, this is not like it's just happened and it's, United need to get better in these areas since the window opened. They've known this probably from January. There should have been discussions. Let's say hypothetically, there's been discussions since January about this. So January, February, March, April, May, you had 5 months. So I don't think it's disagreements. I just don't think they're a smart unit. I just don't think they're very clever. It sounds blunt to say. It sounds wild, but yeah. Because when I'm here and going, well, why can't you just do this and this solves that problem? If I keep stating this, if Manchester United were trying to get to win the Premier League or Champions League, I'd be much more lenient with my criticism because that's very tough. I'm not asking for a FIFA window or the creme de la creme players. Like, Mbeumo's not that. Mateta's not that. Cunha, you could argue, is that. Midfielder, let's say Baliba, for example, even though I don't think we signed him before anyone says it, I'm just using an Emi Martinez. Those players I just named, all but one of them I don't think are Premier League. Oh my God, you're going to go win the Premier League. I'm not asking for those type of players. I'm asking for competent, good, very good
Premier League level players, which I think all 5 of those are. I'm not asking for a lot. Bear in mind, you've put us in the shit show of a situation we are, and it's outside of Belieber. All of those I've just mentioned are very, very realistic and doable transfers, in my opinion. And Bremo is, I think Mateta is, Belieber's the only tough one, so's Emi Martinez. And if you sell like you should, it's not going to cost you a whole heap. So
I'm surprised
why
you
not
might
get
have
it
to go
done?
for Eze.
Because Eze was on the list, but it's Bremo. That's who we in for him, Bremo.
It's just a preference thing, I know.
Yeah.
Even,
So, but
even,
big up.
even,
So Koala, that's what it is. I know people have said this. Like I know Eddie's mentioned this as well. Like it's not like he don't think it's fully incompetence. Word to Charlemagne the God, man. Give people the credit they deserve for being stupid, including yourself, by the way. But yeah, that's what it is.
I'm gonna keep it 100, man. Like I'm gonna keep it 100, man. Like why we excusing that man for not being able to do the job, man? Like this is the way I look at. Like even if they do get the job done at the end of the window, yes, you can give them credit. But you know how there's people over the board and be like, oh, they were able to get done what you want them to do. Like, so why all that complaining at the start of the season didn't mean anything? No, like the reality is intent at the end of the day. You're not showing that you improving from your ways of life. Okay, let's try and get better. How can we how can we show that we improving as a board to our fans? Do they technically own anything to the United fan base? Partly yes, partly no, depending how you want to see it. But I just feel like even if they get all done, it's like congratulations, you done the job. You were supposed what you were supposed to do. Not like you want a cookie for that, no? Like you know what I mean? Like for me, I don't applaud people for the bare minimum. So even if they get rid of the guy, like if all these news about the certain players that you chase and certain players that you want to sell, we all know that you wanted to get them rid months ago, and you wanted to get certain players in months ago. So for me, it's like when you go and get them later, then on congratulations, yeah, you did your job, but that's the bare minimum, in my opinion. What do you do in order to bring the United to success? I think where people should be more praising the United ownership is like when United start winning, then okay, you actually did what you're supposed to do. Like you're just doing the bare minimum, Miles.
Yeah.
And I'm that harsh with Tottenham, and Tottenham may not even the same stratosphere in terms of football clubs, in terms of statues of football club. Yet I'm not here I'm not here applauding the bare minimum. Like if they go and get Cudis, congratulations, that's the bare minimum. We've been needing the right wingers for 2 seasons now.
I think it's also like I think it
So
goes back to the question. I think it goes back to the question again, like it's a rarely footballing issue that happens in United is that you're talking about the internal power struggles because United got Omar Barada. I mean, like you have that different departments, i.e., your sporting directors, the scout, the finance, the legal, the ownership. Like they often pull in the different directions. You may have in your club a manager who wants a certain like Amrim, he wants that certain profile of a player, but then your recruitment team is just chasing data signings. Then you got Ineos prioritizing resale value or brand marketability.
But you can't even really sell that, to be honest, though, because like they literally put it out there. Like Parada literally came out and said, "This is our guy." They said Amun is like he literally said, "This is their guy." If he never came out and said, you can probably if they never said that Amun is not their guy, then you can make the argument because this is what people were saying about Ten Hag. This is what people were saying about Dan Ashworth. It was easy to kind of like switch the narrative up, but now that you have literally put yourself out there saying, "No, this is our guy. We want to support him," but yet you're still struggling to find out what type of player the guy actually needs. Like, and when in reality, you shouldn't even necessarily buy players off him until he has proven to the point where you can say, "Okay, let's go and get him his players." What the requirement should be is that you get in certain players of quality that you can look at and say, if they wear United shirt, I can understand why the guy wears a United shirt. Like if I go around in the chat, throw a United shirt at somebody and he wears a United shirt and plays for us, and then he plays in the United 11 on a Saturday against Arsenal, I would be sitting there like saying, "Who is that dude, bro?" No disrespect to the chat, but we know what we all look for a United player. The standard what United players should be representing. And I'm not even saying that he needs to represent Champions League, Premier League quality as of right now, but at least to a standard where you're saying, at least we're not fucking mid-table. Like really, in reality, we should be at least be bare minimum trying to getting Champions League with all struggle, really, really and truly. But because of how far the situation is and how much they're not even trying to show the intent of like, okay, let's get actually back to them days where we can actually at least get Champions League football. At this moment in time, I don't even know if United can get Champions League football even next season. If you ask me personally,
no, with this one.
the way they're operating,
definitely not.
the way they're operating, I'm not encouraged that they can go next season and get Champions League football, especially if they can't even get European football this season. So I don't know, man. It's
also that the PR optics against football reality, because some clubs, what I've seen is like they care more about how it looks than what it works. Like for example, United may leak interest in 5 targets like Mbeumo, Eze. Like you've been flirting with some of the players, but only move when the PR aligns. And in short, it's not just incompetence. Like it's a mix of misalignment internally. Like you have PR warfare and then the market inflation. For example, like if you look at that Mbeumo stuff online, it's just the whole back and forth. It's really tiring that if you think about it, because
we just don't want to pay the money. That's where it stems from.
Heckling over five
to
10 million for a while.
It ties into incompetence. It's a money.
It's a money thing. It's just that. Just go there. Just go there, sit in the room, agree to fee.
It's facts. It's a money thing, man. Like that's what it is. It's a money thing. Brentford are doing business. We've agreed terms with him. It's a money thing. So Koala says too many chefs. Nah, not even too many chefs. It's not that. Because we have no more members at board level than anybody else. It's not too many chefs. It's just that none of these chefs can cook. I'm saying these man will burn water.
Like, and the thing is,
we say about people who can't cook. These lot would burn water. I mean, deadly serious.
And even then, like bro, like when you look at this, well, when you say too many chefs in like in a football club, you are blinded to a certain position. Let's say in director of football, you have like 2 directors of football. That's too many chefs. But you don't have 2 directors of football. They have for every designated role, they have 1 person that's supposed to be there. So what's the issue with the alignment? There shouldn't be no issues because you guys built that structure at the end of the day.
And Andy says, do you question why you're not linked with many European league players? No, I'm not really fussed. That's one thing that we've done well. So I want us to target players in the Premier League. Same. That's what I like. Like target players in the Premier League. Like go get the best. When I say the best of the rest, like the best outside of the top 6, which seems to be the idea, which United have done long before. I've said this before. Many of our great players have come from within the Premier League. Of course, there's the ones people will point to and go, "Oh, he didn't." But a hell of a lot. If you go through, if B and Sheik was like, "All right, we just gonna run Manchester United best 11s and pick 3 or 4," vast majority, a hell of a lot of them would have come from within the Premier League. So I like the idea of doing that. Yeah, that's it. Go on, Sheik. What are you saying, bro?
Just chilling, man. But yeah, like in terms of this whole, we talked about it so many times. These guys are just incompetent, man. Like, they have history of running a different football club under Nice, and this is a much bigger investment for them, at least from a business standpoint. And I don't get it. I just don't think how they're working or prioritizing the commercial side without thinking that the on-pitch stuff that needs to happen is what's going to lead to better success on the commercial side as well. Like if you're looking to turn things around, and let's say you're looking to get money from it and all that type of stuff, you need to focus on you bought a football club at the end of the day. I think it's something that they need to remember is you bought a football club. Ultimately, the football club at the end of the day needs to be successful to some sort of level that will lead to success commercially as well, financially as well. It's always been the case. And I just don't know what they're prioritizing currently at this moment. Are they looking at this situation like, okay, we need to entirely clear out a lot of things in terms of how the club was being run? We've seen how many times they've cut staff. We've seen how many times they've cut scouts. We heard about that. Remember, Flawless? We had 100 scouts apparently.
I'm glad they
cut that
cut
down
the
to
scouts.
10.
I'm with that. I like good.
Yeah,
That
but it's
was a
like
great thing.
the point I'm trying to make is like I feel like they're trying to do like what in terms of trying to bring Manchester United quote unquote back. They're trying to do a lot of the off the pitch stuff to get things right rather than focusing on the on pitch issues. And it can tell from their energy from it. Like look how they've gone with this manager after he's finished 15th in the Premier League. I think as crazy as this sounds, Ed Woodward probably would sack this guy. And
Yes.
like the previous owners, yeah, it would they would sack this guy, but they're I just feels like they're not focused on it. Like signing one player in January, which is a left wing back, but then letting go of letting go of two attackers that I can think of. I don't know if there was more. Anthony and Rashford. Who else? There wasn't really anybody else like that, right? So Anthony and Rashford, getting rid of both of them, and then bringing a left wing back. And then also we're all sitting here and like asking questions on who do we have left to play. And it's like it's one of those type of issues that they haven't really thought of. And were there loan deals that they could have gone out there and explored? Of course there are. If I were to ask Jez right now, like name me 5 players that we could have gotten a loan on, he'd name me 6 instead of 5. So it's like it's one of those type of things where it all just depends on what their priority really is. And to me, it just seems like their priority currently right now is fixing a lot of the off the pitch issues. Getting back on PSR, selling all these players with hefty contracts. But are they even looking to sell these players with hefty contracts? Because, and right now it just seems like, and I keep mentioning this in the past 2 days, they're not acting like the employers. They're the ones who are acting like the employees. It just seems like everybody else currently at this club, including players and manager, and it's been like this for a while too, are the ones who are employed. They're the one who are running the show, and you're giving them so much power in terms of that. So now that you have some sort of structure at the club, you have sporting directors, all the technical director, all that type of stuff, you're still going ahead and listening to what managers and stuff have to say. And then on top of that, you're listening to a manager who, by the way, in my opinion, has no credibility going into this season. Like he's finished 15th this year. Why should I listen to this guy? He's been serving us terrible food for months. Why should I go give him more ingredients? Why should I go ahead and give him more all these nice utensils and a nice grill and all that type of stuff to go and try to cook more when I've seen what you can cook and what you're capable of cooking? And that's the issue that I currently have. Bruno Fernandes should have been sold. We've been saying this again and again. He should have been sold. This situation currently for right now, like us finishing 15th last season, is the best scenario for us to turn this club around. And these guys have just been messing about with it, bro. Like what? How much more lower do we have to get in order for them to start making decisions? I thought this would be it. 15th in a year, losing a European Cup final the way that we did. Manager appointment in the middle of the season when they probably should have sacked that previous manager a very, very long time ago. All of these type of things. And then also forcing Ruben Amorim to join this club, telling him it's now or never. So if you're telling a guy that it's now or never, what that would suggest to me is that you're actually looking to back him and you're looking to do all these things. But right now it doesn't seem like that is even the case. But you'll come out and you'll say that, yeah, Ruben Amorim is the person. I see us winning, challenging for league titles by 2028. I see us lifting big trophies by 2028. To start now. Start as you mean to go on. I always say this, and it's like it just doesn't make sense to me at all. Their words don't align with their actions. And it's been like this since they've pretty much gotten here. We're going to bring the best of the best. We're going to be the best in class. All of that type of stuff. Bringing Omar Barada and all that from Manchester City when he was successful there. But it doesn't seem like any of those things have been in fruition here at all, to be honest. And I know there were a lot of people who supported the transfer window last season, but I called it for what it was, and I was right. I didn't think we were doing well in terms of our attack, and which is why I predicted us to score only 45 goals this last season. We scored 44. It's a big problem. You're going out and just signing a Xerxes as a player when you still have a Rasmus Højlund who's quote unquote at that moment of time was still raw talent. Now we obviously know how shit he is. Like it's not like there's anything, maybe any sort of there's no turnaround for me. Can you go to a different league and perform well? Sure. Would I care? No, because he can't do it at this club. And that's all that matters to me currently at this moment. But a lot of decisions that they've made haven't been good. And now, Flawless, we are going to get into a situation where, let's say Ruben Amorim does get sacked. Do I trust them to go and appoint the next manager after what they've just done with this one?
Absolutely fucking not.
So these are all big questions to be worrying about, though. And I've been saying this. Our club, like these guys are here to stay now. These guys are going to be here for a long time, and we have to now put our faith into these guys of trying to turn anything around. And if anything, like we've never been this bad, bro. Like we genuinely have not been this bad. I've not in the past like couple of years. Yeah, in the modern day era, I've not in the past, even in post Fergie, under Van Gaal, under Mourinho, even under Ollie to a certain extent, I don't think our on-pitch performances were this bad, bro. Like right now, I refuse to sometimes even watch our games. It's absolutely terrible. I've never crashed out of a game, and I did like 2 or 3 times last season. And this is just, and we're hearing that, you know, these guys want to stay, and there's being some sort of revisionism for them and all that type of stuff. We're cooked, man. We're dinnered. We've only had one player come in so far, Mateus Cunha. You know, United fans are getting giddy because they've seen one picture today of Ahmad Xerxes and Cunha in the training ground, and they think everything is going to be okay. I was hearing top 6 predictions at the start of the season. Like I was hearing top 6 this and that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I don't know what people are. I just don't know what people are like looking at, and it's one of those type of things where the fairy tale needs to end. There's no fairy tale with us. This is the reality of what our club is, bro. Like this is genuinely what our club currently is right now. We are mid-table, 15th place, and going into next season with more than 75% of the same players. And we're expecting a big change with the same manager who couldn't win back-to-back games. I don't know. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you if you'll play Cunha in the right position. I might see Cunha playing left wing back.
Oh, he might play false 9.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I don't. There's nothing for us to currently right now suggest anything with this manager currently at this moment. We've seen Wolves last season win like 6 in a row, and we couldn't win 2 back-to-back games in the Premier League.
No. So well, it's that again. Go back to that scouting talk that we had earlier about other top clubs. They're just looking from outside the league, Premier like League, La Liga, Eredivisie, even the Belgian Pro League. Like I think United, they're just recycling familiar names from within the same domestic pool. It's that you also
disagree, to be honest, because they're signed less.
It's not even that. Like, where is the proactive scouting? Is that because Wilcox? I don't think that's an issue. Because hold on, yes, because Wilcox came in with a reputation for strategic long-term thinking, but we're not seeing the links to that high ceiling or any low-cost profile for the Europe. It's I think she's right. It's either laziness or fear of risk, or maybe worse. It's that this total lack of infrastructure to scout.
But currently, this is what I was saying. Currently, in our situation, that's not a wrong thing to do in terms of who we're trying to scout. Look at the players that we've just been linked with right now. I don't think this has anything to do with scouting. I think they're just identifying players who've been performing well in the Premier League. We have Cunha, someone who scored around 16 to 17 goals.
The thing is,
because then there's
a smart move. It's just
there's no high risk of turnaround with these guys. Considering who we've signed in the past before, we've signed Anthony from the Dutch league. We've signed Højlund from the Italian league. We've signed all these different players who, at that time, even currently at this moment, are quote unquote considered young. And it's not like they had a lot of experience or some sort of like talent's not the wrong word, but some sort of like prem experience upside to them, right? Whereas now we're looking to players who, like Mbeumo, like Acuna, for example, who have some sort of upside to them, where you can go back to their 3 last seasons in the Premier League and be like, okay, at least these guys can guarantee us 15 to 20 GNA every single year. And they've done that at their respective clubs. And I think that's currently what the situation is now. I'm not saying in the next year, let's say hypothetically, somehow we get to top 7, top 6. I'm not going to sit here next year and be like, okay, let's just continue to buy Premier League proven players. I'll be like, yes, that still should be a priority. But then also now make that up and make that progress in terms of transfers. Now you go out there and get better players, because our situation right now is, bro, we're 15th. We need to get to some sort of level playing field, and we need to get to the top half of the table. We need to get some sort of consistent results. And we've been absolutely abysmal.
Playing one game a week, I think it should be fine for you guys. But I think it's just
I don't know about
supremely overrated is that. But you lot continue to get your questions in. Did we hit 50 likes? Big up to Stephanie G. Hey, you don't have to be on United. You lot. This shit is a complete terrible shit. Hit the subscribe button as well. Go on.
if you want, we can switch team in the like
Yeah, go on.
now,
Feels like a man in United. Go on.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
I'll be honest. I'm kind of tired even listening to this United stuff because it feels like
Go
it's the same thing over and over.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
same thing over. We know that
so
they're
it's like,
incompetent,
on,
man. They ain't
just
gonna
switch
do
up. What you
nothing.
gonna say? 'Cause we're gonna close out shortly anyway.
oh, I'm trying to. Let's
Club
actually
World
do
Cup. Let
more.
me ask you, Jez, who you got winning tomorrow, and who you have winning the hypothetical final that you've got? Let's go there. Club World Cup. So Chelsea went through today. PSG or Real Madrid? Who you got and why? And then the final, who do you have and why?
Shit, this it's actually difficult because like I think I'll go with PSG winning well today, tomorrow, whatever you want to consider. Just because, even though I think Javi has definitely improved a lot since the first game against them and first game for Madrid, you can still kind of see it's still quite a new team, and I feel like they're trying to still figure out like a cohesion within the team, and also certain players not still needing to play a bit better. For example, like Winnie, for example. So I feel like with PSG, the momentum's already there. Patro's gonna miss, so that's gonna be a big miss.
Big mess,
But
yeah.
so I do wonder how the replacement is gonna play. So I do think this is where Madrid can hurt them. But you would expect PSG, considering how cohesion there's just been all tournament or going into the tournament. I got PSG winning, and then in the final, I think PSG is going to win the final. To be honest, it's not even coming from the perspective of like me thinking that Chelsea can't beat PSG. I think it's most of the fact that I think PSG. I had PSG coming into this tournament as the winner.
Mm.
So
Same.
if they
Yeah.
now get to the final after all the competition that they had to play, why do I have to believe that they're gonna lose the final as well? So I'm not even gonna come from the perspective of like Chelsea hasn't. So I'm not even coming from because I think it's easy to say that Chelsea hasn't played anybody, but they make their own luck in it. They make their own luck getting to the final. But I believe that PSG was the best team coming into the competition. I believe that they are the best team in the competition, and they could be in the final. So PSG wins the final over Chelsea for me.
Say, do you she?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I echo exactly everything that Jez is saying. I mean, look at we watch PSG all the time, man. Like they are the most complete team at this moment, and the way that they play football and the way that Enrique sets them up, like just small, minute details for me, just tells me that yeah, they're a serious team. Look at how they kick off. They start off the game by kicking the ball to the opposition end, and they start the press right away. Like it's just stuff like this, and off the ball, on the ball, like all these different things in terms of the talent that they have in midfield as well. Like I think PSG, same thing for Madrid. I mean, it's like that Jess said. I think it's still a little new for Xabi. Good thing for them, and I'm not trying to go back to the United stuff, but a good thing for them is they have a manager who's admitted that he's willing to change things around and not stick to his system, and he's come out and said that, and we've seen that from time to time. So he's already played a back four in this tournament, and we've seen that as well. Even though he's notoriously known as a manager who is playing a back three system with Leverkusen, and he's willing to change that around, but I think it's still been like too less of a time period for us to kind of see what Xabi Alonso is really cooking with Real Madrid. And I think even for him, it has to be a more consistent run of games for him to actually figure out his proper starting 11 in the system that he wants to play. But you're going in a semifinal against PSG, against like again one of the teams that I just said, a complete team. And I just don't think it'll be maybe good enough for them. Do I think the game could be close? Yeah, because Real Madrid have enough talent on the pitch in order for them to, have individual moments of brilliance and all that type of stuff. But PSG is going to be a tough test for them, and also for Xabi Alonso. And I think it'll be a good learning lesson for him too, to go up against a team like this in the Club World Cup, before this whole entire season starts, because there's a lot of pressure on him to, obviously after how Real Madrid performed last year and just how Real Madrid are as a club. They want to be in winning around Champions League every single year. They want to be at least in the semifinals, finals, winning that every single year. And just also the way that they got embarrassed by Barcelona 4 times last season. I think there's a lot of eyes on Xabi Alonso going into next season. They've made some good signings as well with Trent, Huijsen, all of that. So I think a lot of those things will be into question, but I just don't think they're right now well equipped enough as a team with the short amount of period that they've had with Xabi Alonso in order for them to beat PSG. And I just think PSG win. In terms of the final, look, like this whole Chelsea, then they've had an easy run and all that type of stuff. If Chelsea end up winning this Club World Cup, no one's going to remember the run that they had because they're going to beat one of the big juggernaut teams in the final, whether it's Real Madrid, whether it's PSG, right? I think where that game will go down is in the midfield. I'm very, very excited to see that battle with Caicedo and all these guys against, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and Joao Neves. I think that's where it'll really go down to. But I think, I think I had, just like Jez, I had PSG winning this entire tournament. I said it from day one. I'm like just a big fan of how they play. A big fan of Enrique as a manager and how he sets up this PSG team. And this Real Madrid game is going to be interesting because this is Mbappe going against PSG. And who knows, maybe he has a point to prove. Or maybe PSG have a point to prove to him that, we're a much better team without you. And we're going to show it to you when we play against you. And it could be one of those type of things. So exciting times, regardless, as a neutral fan going into the semifinal and the final. Congratulations to Chelsea. I mean, like I said, it's not their fault that they had an easy run. It's not their fault that, Manchester City lost to Al Hilal and got knocked out. So Chelsea did their business. They played very well against Fluminense. I predicted a 2-0, and it was exactly a 2-0. Good goals from Joao Pedro, too, to be honest. Like I know a lot of Chelsea fans are just happy by seeing a very good ball striking player currently at this moment because they've lacked one for a time. Nicholas Jackson, your Chelsea career is over. I'm not sure what you're going to do for the rest of your Chelsea career. If you want to sit on the bench and play in the Carabao Cup for the next season, sure, if that's what you want to do. But if I were you, I would look for a different club because currently at this moment, you're not even above Liam Delap. You're not even above Liam Delap in the striking pecking order. So we'll see what the final goes with. But I have PSG winning the entire thing. And I think, they're just the most complete team. Look at the teams that they went through in terms of the Champions League as well. Just look at where they were before they signed, before January, and how they've kind of turned their season around going into the latter stages of the Champions League. This is a team that was in the playoffs, if I'm not wrong, right? They were in the Champions League playoffs, and they played against Liverpool, they played against Arsenal, they played against Inter in the final. These tough teams, and they did really, really well. So it's going to be a very tough test for Chelsea, regardless of who they do play. I think if it was Real Madrid, maybe there is an opportunity for them to maybe get a win. But if it's PSG, I just don't really think they do stand a chance, to be honest.
Yes, and to Koala, about let them count us out. Yeah, it's not just you lot. It's anyone against PSG. Before we go to facts, I think PSG are the best team in Europe. That's why they won the Champions League. I think they'll beat Real Madrid, and I think they'll beat Chelsea.
It's a good test for us as well.
Good test for you guys too, yeah.
Unless you know where you lot are at, it gives a good. All right, your thoughts on that? Look at facts, man. You know what I'm saying? Coming out with sensible stuff, man. There we go. About time, but we got there. It only took us 4 years. But go on. Floor's yours.
No, it's a good test for us because we got Champions League next season, and you're gonna face 2 teams from pot 1, and then 2 teams from pot 2, and then the rest, and then. The thing is, the big boys like PSG, I know they're going to be tough, but this is more of a warm-up of what's to come for the Champions League next season. So let's see where we're at on Sunday. I'm confident that our boys going to give them a game, especially in that midfield battle that Sheikh was alluded to earlier, how the Enzo Caicedo against Vitinha, and Joao Neves, arguably the Ballon d'Or contenders as well.
And Ruiz as well.
So,
Ruiz, yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of storylines that's going to happen on Sunday as well. That you got Joao Pedro seeking his first trophy as well. You got other players like Cole Palmer, where he never lost in a final except for the Euros final last year. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Sunday. He lost the Carabao Cup final. Apart from the Euros,
he lost the Carabao Cup final to Liverpool.
Yeah, so he lost. So what's the impressive record?
I know you forgot about it because the Carabao Cup. But technically, he did. He lost.
But anyways,
James Madison,
Liverpool and kids.
I genuinely,
I'm just joking, but just saying, man. James Madison never lost the final too.
You know what? I genuinely. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm looking forward to this. This is what's going to happen to us in the Champions League next season. So, yeah, we'll see, man.
That's how I would look at it too. I mean, of course, you'd be disappointed if you do lose, but at the end of the day, you are facing and matching up against one of the best teams in Europe, like Flawless said,
Okay.
like the best team in Europe. And if you guys do end up losing, I think you do have to look at it in terms of like a learning lesson. Like, okay, we depends on how you do match up against PSG as well. I think it could be, even despite you guys losing, I still think it could, in some way, shape, or form, if this makes sense, be a little bit of a confidence boost going into the Champions League next season and going into the Premier League as well.
What are they missing? By the way? Is it Pacho and Lucas as well on Sunday?
Lucas Hernandez and Pacho.
Yeah, but Lucas Hernandez doesn't play, so it don't really matter. So it don't really matter. It's just Pacho pretty much. But you know what? Let me flip this, man. That's actually mad. Like, no, see, now I do think it matters that they do play PSG in the final, and I do think it can definitely kind of just get them a feeling about like a team that just literally won the Champions League. What they're about, innit?
Yeah.
But I feel like, and this is just probably just me, but are we overrating this whole? Are we overrating the whole meaning of the kind of like it's like a pre, what's the word? It's like a prelude,
something like that.
We're talking about like the Club World Cup. We're talking about like the Club World Cup. Oh, glorified preseason friendlies, like glorified.
No, not that. No, I'm talking about how them playing PSG, how it prepares them for the Champions League. And I'm saying how it's kind of overstated. Actually, let me use that word, overstated, instead of overrated, because I do think it's a really good, viable lesson considering who you play. But what I mean with overstated is that more times than not, you're not going to play a team as good as PSG when you think about it for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So
I think it's also just like how they match up against a team like this, and how they match up against some of the, because they haven't been in the Champions League for a while too, right?
Yeah, but that's true. But for me, I'm looking at it from the perspective of outside PSG and Barcelona. Like the only team that's probably coming close to the way PSG play, that can give you the type, who give you the same problems, not necessarily play the same way, but give you the same problems as Barcelona. So the probability that Chelsea could even play any of those teams is like 50-50. The rest of Europe, when I look at the rest of Europe, I think a lot of us overrate some of the better teams if we really look at it. But
I get what you mean.
Like we know, like Chelsea should be familiar with what Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal are like. So that's already 3 teams from the Premier League. La Liga, you have Barcelona, which I just said. Only team that I look at with PSG, who are currently up in terms of quality wise, and also current play, who are of a certain level of an extreme high standard right now. Real Madrid, we don't necessarily know. Like, let's say this way: if Chelsea play Real Madrid in the final, I think they have a better chance. They have a better shot than playing PSG. Me personally,
for sure, 100%.
Because of considering as well, where Xavi Alonso just coming in, having to get the idea, player having to find the footing into this system and everything. They even having to figure out what type of system they even want to play, because we have seen how many formation changes he has done already in this tournament, because he's using this as a preseason. And then after that, you're looking at Inter Milan, who they're having a coach who only coached 13 games, who really and truly is not even good enough to be there. But because of circumstances of how financially bad they are, they cannot necessarily go and get a better coach. You look at Juventus. Juventus is an on and off team.
Yeah.
You look at Napoli.
Like the Bayerns and
we know Conte in European, so let's not even speak there. Bayern, one of the most overrated teams. I think everybody thinks that, oh my days, Bayern Munich. Just because Bayern Munich beat Arsenal doesn't mean that they're good.
And they've just lost Musiala too. And they've just lost
for like a good 6 months of the season.
Yeah.
They're dreadful. Don't get a mistake. Just because they're in the Bundesliga doesn't mean that they're good. They're dreadful. And Bayern fans will tell you that as well. So for me, when I'm saying I think it's kind of overstated how much this PSG game is for Chelsea as an experience for the Champions League, going into the Champions League. I think it's a bit overstated, because outside Barcelona, I don't necessarily see a team that gives teams as much as problems as PSG and Barcelona give. Me personally. But
I think they're the two standouts.
Definitely. I hear that.
And then you can, if you want to go to, this is then when you go after those two, you can go and look at Liverpool and then say there's a gap, and then probably Arsenal. Then there's a gap. You need to see how Man City is going to be this season, even though you expect from them a good recovery this season.
Yeah. And we don't know
How
what
do
Real
we
Madrid
truly
are going to look like exactly.
exactly? So it's like I think it's a bit overstated when people saying Chelsea is a good preparation for the Champions League when they play PSG. I think it's a bit overstated, me personally.
Yeah,
But-
that makes sense. I think my
but
point was
that's-
more just going into the season as a whole. You know, playing good competition going into the season as a whole. I think
Oh, yeah,
that'd be
I
a good
think that-
boost for them.
I think
Like-
yeah, that's that. But then I
Yeah.
feel like this is what you always get from preseason, though. Like
Mhm.
you play a couple of mediocre teams, which they have done. Then you play some top teams, then just to kind of get yourself into a faster preseason match feeling going into the season. So I'm not even saying that the Cup is a preseason. It is a competitive competition. Don't let anybody make you believe that the Cup World Cup is a friendly or something. Don't make people let you believe that. But it's just what I personally see in that. But I don't even necessarily see why Chelsea fans should be afraid even going to the Champions League next season because I'm just looking around the playing field in Europe, and outside the teams that I think Chelsea are really familiar with, 3 teams in Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. The only 2 teams that I think that really should be worrying about when you see them is PSG and Barcelona. Everyone else, we have to see what they're going to look like. Inter Milan, I have to see how they look like. Atletico Madrid, fuck, like, they're not even there anymore these days. That's just a joke at the moment, in my opinion. Who else? Real Madrid, like we said, we don't know what Xabi is going to necessarily look like for the first 6 months.
They're the sleeper ones. It's like we don't know the level that they're going to be at.
Out of all the teams, I feel like after those 2, it's probably one sleeper. Is probably is Real Madrid. Other than that, I think it's quite easy to kind of making a deal. So honestly, if I'm Chelsea, I look at the Champions League and say, why not? Why not? It's not an impossible competition to win. It's not impossible to win it.
No.
If you get the luck of the draw like this time, like in the Club World Cup, like this is what Tottenham had the luck of the draw. We got to a Europa League final and we won it. Not saying that the Europa League is the same level of the Champions League, but it's the same format.
It's the importance of the luck of the draw. Wow.
Yes, and with the landscape of how European football is at the moment currently.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Like it's
Just
been
like,
declining for a while. I think it's been declining for a while though, European football.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think because it's been declining, I think that it's now where it's at a level like the Premier League where it's going to step back up because it has fallen enough. Like I think Real Madrid will be better. I expect Barcelona, as good as they've been, I think they'll get better. I think Bayern Munich, maybe not this season, depends on moves. They will aim to get better. You've seen the Premier League.
I don't know about Bayern Munich, but I'll be so real.
Not necessarily this season, but I'm saying in the future.
I know what you're saying. This is what I'm saying. Because I think people don't understand how badly they actually run as a football club.
Oh yeah, they've been, and they were super efficient as well. Like they was one of the standard bearers of that.
This is a 5-year issue, by the way. This is not just the last 2 seasons. This is 5 years now.
It's been a long time.
You need to convince. Like, only reason why they won the Bundesliga last season because everybody else was sorry as fuck. If I'm being funny, you want to be honest. Leverkusen had so many opportunities to overtake them last season to win the league back to back, and they couldn't do it.
And then even the one that you lot lost on the last day, it's like, wow, if you
they were super. Like we wasn't even in the title race for that season until the end of the season because Bayern just bottled it.
Yeah.
And then we bottled it literally at home for them. And then Musiala scored a fantastic goal at the end of the game in the Bayern game, which helped them clutch the lead title. But honestly, I think they're I say it all the time, they're probably one of the biggest myths in European football right now. Bayern Munich. Like,
I think people see the name and see that they have talented players. All right.
The team outside Kane, Musiala.
What do you say?
Oh yeah, I forgot Olisa's on the team. Okay, Kane, Musiala, Olisa.
But that's enough for people. You know what I'm saying?
Davis, but then it's 50-50 with Davis. It's a 50-50 with Kimmich. So I'm struggling past 3 players.
That's enough, Jez, though. You see the 5 you just mentioned, that's enough for people who don't watch the Bundesliga week in, week out to go, oh yeah, Bayern Munich is still at a high level. They've got Kane, they've got, even though he's injured now, Musiala, they've got Elise.
They've got Davis. Oh yeah, they're Nurse still in goal. Like people ain't watching week in week until they actually watch him and go, oh.
Have you guys
Yeah.
seen them against the PSG? Like this is what they do all the time. The reason why they won the Bundesliga is because they have Harry Kane. The guy can score 40 goals in the Bundesliga, but that doesn't really much anything.
True.
I bet if you ask him, he would never admit it. But if you ever had the opportunity, but like in private, you have a conversation with Kane, would you have preferred to win the Bundesliga with Bayern, or would you have preferred to win the Europa League with us? He would have told you the Europa League, but he would never say that in public.
Oh yeah, you'd never say it publicly, of course.
He would never say it publicly,
Yeah,
but he would admit. He would. Even Kyle Walker said it himself. He said he would give, and of course you can probably say he has won so much. Yes, won so much, but even if Kane is going to win the Bundesliga again, and he's still going to sit here and tell you in private, I still would have won with Spurs rather than Europa League. Yeah. Because I give this. The Bundesliga isn't even of the standard than it was 10 years ago, and people consider it low standard already. So yeah, this is just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts about them. But yeah, but going back to the other teams in Europe, and even though Italy, Inter's coach, I don't want to disrespect him, but he is not even Champions League level.
Yeah, the Italian teams ain't. The Italian teams are not. Everyone else, I see it. The Italian teams.
They are suffering. France is literally only PSG. So I'm talking about no team in Italy that necessarily. There's so many question marks you can ask about teams in Italy. There's only one team in France at the moment in time that play at the top level. In Spain, it's currently one. Let's see what Real Madrid is going to look like this season.
I do think Real Madrid will be better.
I do think so too.
I think this Barca team is going to dominate for years, bro. That's what I think. I think this Barca
team is serious. I know, but we should talk specifically Madrid in terms of because I already have Barcelona. They're 100% going to be there. But I'm talking about like Madrid. What I think they're going to be better this season, but I have to see it in it. So I can't. If you're assuming then 100%, then
I'm saying if I'm a betting man, I'm saying under Alonso with that talent, I go.
They should be better.
They should be better, but do you think they win La Liga over this Barca team? That's what I'm saying. That's the
one thing. Here's what I say about it.
This is for Real Madrid. Real Madrid.
Here's what I say about it. It's going to be extremely close.
I think they'll be better. I think it could be
because it was close. Like they won it by it was 1 or 2 wins. They were like 2 wins off.
Yeah.
So I think with this, even though I do think Barcelona will be better because they've had a year under Flick. I think they'll go up a level as well.
I think what also didn't help last season because we got to remember. I think at one point, the reason, even though they were close last season at the end of the season, the reason why I never felt like that is because Barcelona at one point had like a 9 double-digit point lead, I think. So
they end up winning by because that game was the El Clasico was the nail in the coffin. Because if I think if Madrid would have beaten,
I remember going into that game, it was like if Real Madrid won, then they would cut the points down to like 1.
Yeah, because it was 4 points overall.
Yeah, it was.
I know that's what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying.
Barca scored 102 goals,
and then also considering how Real Madrid started off the start of the season too, like Mbappe and all these guys weren't scoring goals.
And that's why it doesn't felt like. That's why last season it didn't felt like, even though yes, Real Madrid was close. The reason why it never felt close was because how dominant. Exactly, and even how dominant. Because even when you watch the Real Madrid game, let's be serious, man. We watched some of these games on the playbook and how it was training.
Follow the playback, people.
Yeah, people follow the playbook. What are you doing? People. You living under a rock? It's not 2021 no more. But anyways. Paul,
you man, I can't get big up.
Hey, Fats, blessings, love every time, Fats. Hope you're good, man. Blessings.
Notice, any Real Madrid, if there's a Real Madrid fan in the chat, apology that is going to come hella offensive. But watching Real Madrid last season felt like watching Everton.
Yeah, they were dreadful.
No, they were dreadful. I remember I did the whole I'm on loan.
No, it's crazy, Jeff. I can't remember who it was. Because there's a regular, I forgot his name. We ain't been around. There's a Real Madrid fan who's a regular on the playback, and I remember during the season.
I know what you're talking about.
He was like,
but
he was like, "You're terrible. Why do you keep watching us?" I was like, even though you aren't playing well, because this is the early part of the season. A lot of the players who I'm very big fans of are there, so I'm gonna watch. I don't have no
personal ties in them lot with
Yeah.
it. They just have a whole heap of talent over there. I rate it very, very highly as we've spoken.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's why I watch you lot. But it's mad the Real Madrid fan saying that. So yeah, I get the point.
And
Big up to Eddie as well,
this,
man.
and this is what
champion. Just shout out the panel.
Like,
Big up,
calm, man. Like, but but this is what I mean. But this is what I mean, though. Like, and with Barcelona, I think not only did they dominate the league and run through the league the way they did it in a dominant style as well.
Yeah, they did.
So it just never felt like it. That's what I'm trying to say. So even though 4 points, it never felt close, if you get what I mean. So I really want to see how Javi can make it work. But I do expect him to be better this season. Wherever they can win the league, wherever they win the Champions League, that's a whole different question. But I do expect him to be better this season. Yeah. So let's say 2 teams in Spain. Then you have the 3 teams in the 3 teams in the Premier League, in Liverpool, Arsenal, and City.
Manchester
and even the
City.
City, we don't necessarily know because we have never seen something like this before. A rebuilding Pep side. So there's a whole new question mark that we have about a Man City team that yes, by name, by the players that they have, are really talented, and they're probably going to buy more this summer. But it's rebuilded. Let's see if they're even going to be as dominant as people expect.
I think they're going to be on the vengeance. I ain't going to lie, man.
I mean, I hope so, just for the entertainment of the sport. Like my team, I'm just here. I'm just sideline watching.
I want them to do absolutely awful, but
I think they're going to go buy center backs and they're going to.
Like, you see me. Yeah. I'm just here with my NBA championship trophy and my Europa League trophy, sideline watching like Lil Uzi, bro. Like that's just me. That's me right there. Like I ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all can go and enjoy yourself with all the beefing and that. I'm just here watching, enjoying my football. But then so you see what I mean. So it's like the landscape is just not necessarily. Also, probably 5 teams. The landscape, and even within 5 teams, you just look at 5 to 7 teams, and even with them 7 teams, you probably look at like 2, 3 teams, and you question mark yourself like, if there's question marks about what they're going to be like this season. So I'm interested to see how they improve, and I really do hope they're going to be good because I do think it's going to mean anything. But obviously, Fato's gone. So the Chelsea fan is gone. So I can say fuck Chelsea and all that. But now, take the I would say that anyway too. But back to what I was saying is that honestly, I don't care about the experience thing. But if I'm Chelsea, we should look at this competition and say, let's see what the lack of draw. Let's see what the draw says and see where it brings us by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Let's see how far we can go. Just what the mentality should be.
Is Liverpool going to dominate the Premier League? I just mentioned it there with City. I think Pep's on a war mission, so that's why I think City will do it. But it is going to be interesting as well. And big up to Eddie, just before you do, says fuck Chelsea and they cone collecting bum ass manager. I respect it. Big up Joao as well. Go on, what's the question from?
Because obviously you think Pep is going to be on the invention this season, which I think so too as well. Especially if they're going to buy certain positions. I do think they need to buy at least another centre back.
Yeah, they need to sort out the defense for sure. Yes, they need to sort it out.
But let's say they do that as well, but they don't go on the bench. What is the narrative about Pep then? Because
he's still like solidified. He's still the GOAT, but are you falling off? Because him going 2 years without, let's say they don't win the Champions League, him going 2 years without a Champions League, he hasn't done that. When's the last time he's got 2 years without? When's the last time he's got 2 years without a domestic trophy at the domestic league or the European trophy? I don't think it's happened in his career. You're gonna start asking question marks. A lot of pressure on you now.
I don't think it has. Actually, I don't think he's gone 2 years without a title. Yeah, I don't think he's gone 2
years. It's like, all right, a slot got your number. What do you do in the 3rd season? That pressure in that 3rd season is crazy.
And my question is like, do we even gonna get there in the 3rd season? Like I'm certain season C is gonna be better than season 2.
Well, his contract is what? He signed a 2-year contract, right?
He did sign, but I don't see him going out on a loss. Let's say hypothetically he doesn't win the Premier League and he don't win the Champions League. I think he extends.
Yeah, for me he has to, because going out, if he would go out like that, it looks even more worse than it is. Yeah. But I feel like we need to have the conversation if he doesn't go and deliver this season. Because
absolutely. I'm front and center for that.
Because we sit here and say, like, because we thought all that Pep might leave and a sinking ship is happening, and he said, fuck this. So I can respect him for saying, you know what, I'm staying. Let's rebuild this team. But we shouldn't hide away from the fact that if they don't do what they have to do next season, it's because it's a season where players haven't adjusted to the system. Now, like you didn't win last season, nothing, and you had a horrendous league season. And if the league was better, you could have probably argued that Man City shouldn't even be in the Champions League because of how sorry the Premier League was last season.
Yeah.
They got Champions League football, but what, like, how, like if this was Klopp and we killed Klopp a lot for not winning more than he has won, and he has won everything at Liverpool. So why can we not criticizing them, pet them?
Oh yeah, we definitely.
No, I think you definitely. I'll tell you why, Jez. Because if he does not honestly end up delivering this year, look at how much money they've spent from January onwards till now, and they're going to continue to spend.
And it shouldn't even be just criticism. It should be of the highest regard. Like this deserves to go to the court. We have a whole hearing of all what happened in the last 2 seasons. This type of slandering I'm talking about, because imagine Mourinho going 2 seasons with not a single trophy.
Oh yeah, prime 100%. I told you, I'm front and center. I've already said this to Veta, because Veta's trying to play this whole Liverpool are favorites. Don't let Slot come and dunk on him again.
Bro, see, now the thing is, even if they're favorites, I don't give a shit, bro.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, you've just won the Premier League 4 years in a row, and we're doing the whole they're the favorite to get me.
I can't consider you. I'm sorry, but I can't consider you in your prime, but not being able to then go and say, fuck it. Like I can't go and win a trophy against the guy that just came in last season, won a trophy, and then go and win the league title again. I can't go to the Champions League and win the Champions League at least. Then there's it's not just the Premier League. Like if you don't win the Premier League, it's not the end of the world. But then go and win the Champions League.
There. Yeah, go win the Champions. Yeah, trust me, I'm there.
So for me,
I'm fully there with you, Jez.
Hold on.
I've been saying this.
I know.
I started saying that this year when he won 1-12, because I said we've never seen Pep go 1-12.
Just because you know it is. Because I know you two are with me, and I think some of the chat as well also with me. It's just that why are people just so hesitant to have this conversation about why is everybody just thinking that he's gonna come back next season is gonna be amazing? And don't get
the reason why is because of what he's done previously, but the reason why people are reluctant about it because of how good he is. Because even when I was on Child to Errol, when I was on Redmen TV, bear in mind there's no City fans there. It's the Red Cartel show. Make sure you check it out, people. So I was there. There's United, so it's United, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's why it's called the Red Cartel. Pops watches it all the time. And we was talking about Liverpool winning the league. And I brought up, bear in mind, there's no City fans there. It's all Liverpool, Arsenal, United. I brought up the fact about the uncomfortable conversation if Pep doesn't win it. And then it was, I forgot his name, was an Arsenal fan, good guy as well. Apologies, because my mind's been blank. It wasn't, it was an Arsenal fan who was there. Forgot his name though. And when I said it, he was like, yo, Flawless, we don't need to do this. And he had like a smirk on his face as he's saying it. And I'm saying, why not? Let's have this. Bear in mind, he's an Arsenal fan saying this. And he's saying, nah, we can't have this. People don't want to have those uncomfortable conversations about GOATs and about people because Pep solidified. Like he sits at that table, the elite table he sits at. This don't take away. But like you mentioned, you can still, and people don't want to have it because it's one of the GOATs. That's why.
For me, this is why I'm annoyed at that because it's like, what's the point of the footballing discussions? What's the point?
Oh no, it is when I say that it's because it's uncomfortable. Like in regards to like people, the people are still gonna have the discussion. They just don't want to because it's not. Nice.
I get.
It's not nice. It's like every conversation I have about United. It ain't nice, but I gotta have it.
I just don't think everyone. I just don't think everyone is like no one is unsafe from criticism, no matter how great you are. Like that's one thing. I don't think anyone is like you can't be unsafe from criticism. I think you can be criticized, even though you have been great this whole time. But for me, it's just like I'm with Jez. It's like you have to at some point criticize him and look at him and be like, yeah, this is an uncomfortable conversation. You've not won in a row.
I'll be honest. Like if Pep don't win a major next season, for me, it's like I think he's washed. I don't care if he comes back next season. Then okay, I'm wrong. Then he's still guarded. But
and that's what it is. Just people don't want to say that he could be washed because then that conversation. Bear in mind, people, I'm old enough. Fergie had the same thing. By the way, when Fergie went 2-3 years without a major,
People was calling him, oh, he needs to. I remember these conversations vividly, people, because I lived through it. That time when Arsenal went invincible and Chelsea did the double, it was, Fergie's washed. He's outdated. He can't do it. Granted, came back, won a three-peat, won the Champions League, shut everyone up. That's what he has to do. But people don't want to have that conversation because they could be. Because then that third year, let's say Arsenal sack Arteta and get a serious manager, and then Arsenal win the Premier League and he don't win the Champions League. Then what?
Yeah, and this what I'm saying, because like you see me when and there's a good conversation to have anyway. Lucky that I actually brought it up and it came to my mind, because it's not like many people asking questions anyway. Bill to you guys in the chat, by the way. No psych, not psych or whatever. But anyways, but the thing is, because if you guys know me, like I love to have conversations. Like I love having football conversations, and why like. To me, I'm just like, and obviously you guys just answer it, so it definitely puts it into perspective for me. But I'm just always looking at it like, why can't we not have conversation about certain goals could be washed? Like, see LeBron James, for example, he's probably one of the biggest examples. Like, people hate to talk about the conversation that he could be washed, considering it's crazy. A guy that's averaging like 26 points, probably I think he is, calling him washed is crazy. But then when you look at it and say, people will think at me. People ask me, Jez, why don't you want LeBron? Why don't you want to trade for LeBron? Fuck this, you could go back to back. I don't want to trade for LeBron because I know what it could mean for my team. Imagine saying that 5 years ago. Not even 5 years. Say it 2 years ago that you don't want to trade for LeBron. People think you're ludicrous, and people still think you're ludicrous for that. And I even have a bigger point to prove why. I wouldn't even specifically know I wouldn't trade for LeBron. It's definitely not 2 years. Definitely now, not even 2 years ago. So I don't know. I think we as a football community, we should be comfortable with conversations about.
Oh no, that's the thing about this space is we are. You know what I'm saying? Others are not, because people don't want to talk about. You mentioned it there again. A great point. People don't want to admit their goats are washed. Thankfully for me, that's actually you lot watch me do that. Ronaldo, one of my goats. I didn't like I didn't like that. When he came back, why do you think I didn't want him to come back? No, a man had 100%. To have that. A man had to criticize and see and watch that. I don't want to see that shit. People are, why are you criticizing him? You just hate. Bear in mind, Ronaldo's one of my favorite Manchester United players of all time. He's one of my favorite footballers of all time. Top 5 on both lists. But I'll have the conversation, but a lot of people wouldn't. Because if someone else was putting up them Ronaldo performances whilst he was here, they would have criticized him heavily. But that's where it stems from. People don't want to let goats. People don't want to criticize players they like. Never mind players they put on a pedestal and stuff like that. Yeah, it's mad. And to TJ, I was just throwing that out there as an example. He says, flawless Arsenal have a serious manager out there. I'm just saying hypothetically if that happens, because I actually don't think you lot are that far away, to be honest. In what time would you Fergie out flawless? Never. But I definitely had doubts because I was much more... One, I was much less knowledgeable when I'm younger. And 2, I'm much more emotionally reckless. So I'm not really looking at things logically like I do now. And this, like, if you would have seen me in my early years and the teens, of course I'm like, them times I'm crashing out. What, Arsenal go invincible and Chelsea repeat and we so bad and haven't won anything and that. Like, nah, especially when man speaks fluent trophy. Oh yeah, never Fergie out, but definitely had my doubts over him. And then the media are piling on at that time as well.
I was critical of Fergie a lot in Europe. A lot in Europe. I was critical of Fergie with how some of our competitions went on by and like some of our runs.
I do think also, like, probably into perspective, because I never been able to, like, I never support a team where I could without a shadow of a doubt sit here and say, okay, I had a goal in my rank. So I feel like for you guys it's easier to probably talk about it in terms of say, okay, like, you have Fergie, like, he's a definitive god, was a definitive god, and because, like, you see your gold probably at the end of his career, you kind of start questioning things. So I think it's easy for you guys to think that way in terms of, like, or to make a better judgment is probably the word that I'm looking for. Before you
carry on, big up Faz for the raid as well, man. I forgot to say that earlier. Shout out Faz every single time. Love for the raid, Faz, man. Appreciate it for true.
Domestically though, like Fergie, like it's a little bit different for us because Fergie went out on a high. Like when he left and retired, he won us a league title. Yeah, and he and it was our 20th league title as well. So, like, he left on a high, so it's a little bit different for us in that aspect because, like, he did leave.
But I wouldn't mention though. But I wouldn't mention though. There were times the way he was thinking like, damn, like I love that nigga, man, but he's kind of washed, man.
Oh, there's definitely times when it's like Fergie, and you're like, right, when you're not winning, is he passed him by? But he managed to reinvent himself to the point when he just started he got to a point with Fergie where he'd make decisions, and even when I doubt it, I'd be like, shut up, because he's probably gonna get it right. And more often than not, he was right.
He did, yeah.
More often than not, it got to a point where like this is happening year after year after year, yo. And you're doubting this man, and then he continues to deliver. I'm smart enough to know when he knows what he's doing type of
like
thing.
after 08-09, I would say the next like 3 to 4 years we went losing a league title and then winning one the year after. Like we did that a lot, where it was against Chelsea. I think it was 9-10 we lost to Chelsea, and then 10-11 we won the league title again, and then 11-12 we lost to Manchester City on goal difference, and then 12-13 we signed Robin van Persie and won the league title again. So it was often quite a lot of those things where it's like, okay, we lose one year, and we were close in all of them too. Like we were very, very close to them, and like to whoever we were competing with, Chelsea and Manchester City at that time. But it was just like I always felt like at that time, if we were losing a league title, okay, we'll be back next year, and we could win it again next year. And that was always like the thing with Fergie.
That's it. Yeah. And to Pops, who says it's crazy that a 4-time champ is considered wash after one season and not win. I wouldn't say one, but I'd say if he doesn't win this season, I think when it's 2. I think when you have back-to-back seasons, that's where the problems lie. And Tabari says, "Yo, one question."
And this is the thing is like I don't even need to like see just out of my defense. I'm not even saying that he's washed right now, but I feel like if you go back-to-back season, and which is let's be honest, it's not impossible. As of right now, the favorites are Liverpool. As of right now, the favorites for the Champions League are PSG. So neither competition you're favorites. Some may argue you're not even second best for some of these competitions. Depends how you feel it. I think City are second best, like Arsenal. But for some, you are second best. Well, not even second best. So that's what I'm saying.
One question: if Fergie stayed 13-14 season, would it have been a bad? No, it would have been fine.
Yeah,
all Fergie needed was some form of talent, and we would have been fine. And to Pops, you are a joke, man. For this, he says you lot have been spoiled. That's why we are 15th is so great. You're one of the few people who've seen your team win as many league titles as me, probably around. So don't do that. You've been spoiled. How many league titles you seen, Pops? I think I've never actually like fully counted and broke it down, but mine is I think is around 10. I know you've probably seen around 10, and I think we've both seen 2. You might have actually seen more Champions Leagues than me. I've seen 2. You might have seen 3. Don't hit me with that. You see these Liverpool fans, absolute joke, man.
You are greedy, man. Like, bro,
this guy's seen more than me. I think
I can't even sniff. Like, I couldn't even sniff first place on the 30th game week. Like I say, I can't even sniff that. What are you talking about, greedy?
Yeah, I think Pops might have. I think because he's an OG and he's older than me. We might have seen probably the same amount in regards to it. Well, plenty. You see more than joke, man. You spoiled. And to Jason, who says Sir Alex left United in the mud. It wasn't just Sir Alex though. Does he play a part? Yes. David Gill leaving, people just overlook that Gill left at the same time, which also plays a major role. So it's not just Sir Alex. David Gill also plays. I put as equal amount. If Gill had stayed in charge, I don't think it's as bad. Of course, I believe that Sir Alex was more important, but I'm not understating or underestimating the job that David Gill did. That was exceptional. Like for a number of years under terrible circumstances. That's why I don't care about Ineos being a problem and Glazers being a problem for Ineos. And Fergie had not the same restrictions, similar restrictions. David Gill had similar restrictions. What are we doing? And that man still did absolutely exceptional jobs. You know why? Because they were phenomenal at the roles that they did. That's why their skill level was super high. What are we doing?
I also say this though, Paul. It's like Sir Alex was never David Gill, Sir Alex. These guys were never going to stay here forever. We can't just always just be like.
Well, you could have stayed one more year. Gill could have
stayed one more year. Yeah, could have stayed one more year. But
that's what I would have liked to have done.
Problems that we were going to get into, we were going to get into them anyways.
Yes.
Regardless of them leaving or staying.
Yeah. And that's a question because even I'll be honest, even them times, believe it, Chapman, 2012, 11. I didn't even speak an ounce of English, by the way. So what was going on at United? Because I wasn't, because obviously I don't even understand like a word what's going on. Like I watch football and that's it. I didn't even understand the commentators them times. So what was going on at United?
Like we were still like competing them times, and I think was it Chelsea? City was on the come up at them times as well. So we were just competing for league titles at them
City
times.
came up in 10-11, so they beat us in an FA Cup final, I remember. And I think it was a year before that too, where they signed a couple of players, and 10-11 is when they made that push. We played them in the FA Cup final and they beat us. And then 11-12 is when they had Dzeko, they signed Aguero. I think David Silva was still there. Yaya Toure was still there. Vincent Kompany, all these guys were still there, and that's when they started coming up. And Mancini, obviously, like that year, I remember City were on smoke, like they were scoring goals for fun that year, bro. I'm sorry, just Jez, to bring this up, of course, but it is against your team. I think they beat you guys 5-1 at White Hart Lane that same season. It was 11-12 the season that they won the league, and we could have won that too. We had some stupid results. I still remember this game like it was yesterday. Falls, do you remember that 4-4 draw against Everton?
Yes, man,
we messed up. That's the game where we messed up, and had we not drawn that game, we win the league.
Probably it's one of them ones. Yeah, so yeah, in regards to it, what was going on, we just competing. Like we were still handicapped from the Glazers, but we were still had enough to be successful. Like I say, we have two goats. I say this all the time. Like in Fergie, you had a goat. In David Gillen, what he did, you had a goat. I'm not saying go get goats because they're two like one of a kinds, but it goes to show if you have people who have high skill level, you can still navigate and still do things and do deals and still win matches and win trophies and etc. Big up Crab as well in the chat. That's why I don't
think of it this way, Jez. We got rid of Cristiano Ronaldo and we signed Antonio Valencia and Michael Owen and give Michael Owen the number 7 shirt.
Yeah,
like this is some of the things that we were still doing at that time as well.
Foolishness.
That's obviously because you gotta remember like them times like when I'm still living in Germany, all I know is like I wouldn't have never known like them times unless you like an adult age where like you start learning English in Germany and that. Then you like people that see Man United like it's like how I was just speaking with Bayern Munich right now and how people think how Bayern Munich is. That's what a perception I had of Man United back then. It's like they're this massive football club, like all the years, like competing, winning, and shit like that. So I didn't know that even behind the scenes things was going wrong like that.
Oh yeah, fam. Oh yeah. We've been messed up like a long time. But again, it was. I keep stating this. People say, oh, you only protesting the Glazers. The green and gold and Glazers out started from when they bought the club. Bear in mind, we were successful. After that, we three-peated during that period and won the Champions League. Now, how bad your owners have to be for us to three-peat and win the champs, and people go, yeah, the supporters go, yeah, get these lot out. Like the green and gold scarf there's a thing. Like get Glazers out was a thing. LUHG has been a thing. It's not just it's more prominent now because of spaces like this and because of social media, but it's prominent then. Keep saying this. We played AC Milan in and I've mentioned this before in the Champions League knockout tie at Old Trafford. That long ago, David Beckham was playing for AC Milan. And as he's walking off the pitch, he grabbed the green and gold scarf and put it around his neck. That's how long we're talking. I think that might have been 07. Whenever you lot can Google that. Whenever United played AC Milan in the Champions League knockout tie.
I remember that.
Whatever year that was. So that's how long it's been going on. I think they took over in 05.
We played them in 9-10 as well. I remember Ronaldinho.
It might have been 9-10, but check from 2005 all the way up until Fergie left in 2013 what Manchester United have won.
No lack of trophies there. At San Siro, I think. I remember Rooney scoring in that game.
Yeah, there's no lack of trophies there. It's I say this all the time because we were like, because the Vea likes to run it and goes, yeah, you lot spoiled. And it's like, we should have won more during that period. For everything we've won during that period of Fergie from 05, from when they took over to 2013, should have won more. I knew this motherfucker was still alive. Fuck. You lot
right after, Jed, I don't know if you know this, right after we went to a Champions League final in 2010 and 11 when we played against that treble Barca team, Pep Guardiola's Barca team. The year after that, we crashed out to Europa League group stages in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Oh crap! What we was discussing initially was I don't know how we got it, but we're talking about like United prior. How did we get it?
We was talking about Pep. talking about goals
That's
and
it.
talking about how thing, and then we ended up going to somehow to United then. And, and then I asked the question about how you guys probably can relate more closer to
It's
what
like
it feels
goats,
like
our
when
goats
you
coming
ask.
to an end. Yeah,
That's
like
it.
our goats.
We're
Yeah,
talking
Our
about
goats.
like why people don't want to discuss if their goats were becoming washed.
Yeah.
Or if not, an uncomfortable conversations. Bear in mind, I don't think he's washed. Even if he doesn't win the season after, he's done too much for me to go, you are washed.
Yeah.
Still done too much. That's why I'm picking City. I got City winning the league this season.
Yeah.
Mainly because he's the main reason why. I respect what he's done. Put the bias aside. He's one of the GOATs. Slot
No, 100%.
is nowhere near him in terms of managerial level. And this is why when me and Veta discuss this, don't give me that, because man will tell me how Pep's this, Pep's that. Fergie's nowhere near him, and that. All right, so he should beat Slot then. Beating Slot should not be a problem. With all the money, don't tell me about them being champs. Look how much money you've spent. You're the GOAT. You spent X amount. Therefore, you should win the league. That's how I look at it. Like man wanna call man. What's it called? A GOAT until it's time to do GOAT-like things. Don't do that. See, when I call people a GOAT, I expect GOAT-like things. This is why I'm so critical of the GOATs. You're a GOAT. Do some GOAT shit. Or what you're asking for is now an impossible. Yeah, that's why he's a GOAT. What are we doing around? Like, what are we doing out here? Nah, and to Crab, no one's saying, we're not saying he's washed.
No. We were.
I'm
saying about people will have that conversation because Crab, you know this, OG. When Fergie went through his period, you'll know this as well as I do because I remember it vividly. People doubted Fergie when he went 2-3 years without winning a Premier or champs.
Yeah.
Like and said they were completely wrong because look at what he won after that. I tell you, like anytime I go one further, people. Anytime Manchester United didn't win the league, 1 year was a problem.
Yeah, that's what I remember too.
The problem in the 90s is a problem. Like when we lost to Blackburn with the 2 years, I think it was 2 years, 1 year we lost to Arsenal. Like people were doubting him. Oh yeah, misunderstood.
This thing and it defines that even the fact
when Mourinho came around and Mourinho like announced himself to the Premier League, there were doubts then too that Mourinho was gonna
this guy who
knock
just
him
called
off
himself
his
the special one and did a did.
Considering Mourinho beat us with Porto in the Champions League too. Like there were all those things that were said about Mourinho at that time towards
hey Crab, what were the fighting words? Because I said like do like got like in regards to when I was talking about, but like that's you're talking about Slot B, but if I sat here and said Slot's close to Pep in terms of the manager, and I rate Slot highly, but if I said he's close to Pep, people will look at me like I'm crazy. I said they're close in terms of level, so it's like you should beat him then.
And that's the thing
you should like that's how I'm looking at Pep. This is why he's my pick. I am holding him to GOAT standards. I'm one of the few because I don't think if you have Liverpool better than City, I hear it. But I think the two teams are close. I don't think there's a massive difference between the two sides. That's what it is.
And I feel like what's the point of being? The thing is that like that's hilarious. But for me, it's like that's why I say like, what's the point of being called a GOAT when you cannot even be held to them standards? To be honest, like you know what I mean. And
because you know why, Jed? Sorry to cut you off. A lot of people only want the good that comes with it.
Exactly.
They only want to be the king. You know what comes with being the king? You sit on the throne. You know what I'm saying? You get all the jewels, women. That's all the great stuff. But then when it's time to go out there in the field and do king shit, a lot of people don't want to do it.
And this is why I respect the people who can actually go do well. Like people who could be in the top of the world, then suddenly 1-2 years, even 1-2 years is quite a really short turnaround. People start doubting you. And then you want to go back and be able to. That's why I respect Kobe so much is in terms of how, regardless of how much he got worse to the end of his career, he still had that within him of like, yo, I want to prove that I can play off a certain level, regardless to the point where like he was able to do it, but then he got injured and then he just couldn't do it no more at the end. But he still even was going out there, be on some GOAT shit, bro. Like I'm not passing the ball. I'm not passing the ball, bro.
There were big things about Kobe at that time that he couldn't win without Shaq, and then he ended up winning one without Shaq. Like that was one big conversation at that time that he had Shaq with him, and that Shaq helped him win. And then he's like when he was obviously still around, he used to joke around with Shaq all the time, And he would literally tell them that I won one without you. Like, I proved it to everyone. They would literally have banter like this all the time. And he would tell them that I've won one without you. Because the conversations at that time were big that he's only won one with, like, he's only been able to win with chat.
And this is what even someone like KD is trying to prove himself that he can win
without
Steph,
the Warriors.
for example.
Yeah,
without the Warriors and that. So it's like, for me, it's like, that's what I'm saying. And this is the type of shit that I can respect all the time.
I respect it too. Yeah, I do.
And that's why I'm always putting those type of. Not saying that I'm putting, like, if Pep doesn't win next season, the Champions League or Premier League, I wouldn't call him what. I'm just saying, let's engage the conversation of, like, could be the time where, like, Pep could potentially go a road where, like, he's still a top manager across the world, but it's just not that anymore. He's not that guy anymore. Because let's be honest, like, before last season, we all considered Pep that guy. You couldn't just do anything about it. Everybody, like, well, Liverpool fans will tell you they still have nightmares of some of them seasons where these guys would be certain points behind them, and then they catch up.
97 points, yeah.
Bro, 1 point, like, differences. Like, Liverpool having damn near perfect seasons, and they were still not enough because of how good Pep's teams were with City.
Yep.
So for me, it's like I said, because one thing I don't do is I jump the gun and want to call somebody washed just so I can say I was the first one to call Pep Guardiola washed. But I'm kind of like in the conversation of, like, let's spark the conversation. Like, if the guy doesn't do what he's supposed to do next season, could he be washed? Not saying that he is, but
I can't wait to have that potential conversation.
Oh,
just to see people scramble to defend him.
Oh no! You know people will, like, Waiter is a top class gaslighter, so you will have these lines ready. But
yes,
not everybody's Waiter. You know what I mean? I'm seeing City fans already. They're already tired of Pep.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, and that's why I say that's why I love that's why I love these type of football conversations, because let's see how the energies shift us. In one way, where Pep can have a very successful season this upcoming season, and we all praise Pep again and say Pep is back, he rebuilt his own squad. You can question how much money he spent, but it's his pocket. I'm not a pocket watcher, bro. I ain't a pocket watcher. But or we could go to conversation of, damn, 2 seasons in a row. Shit, maybe even Arteta wins something over you. God forbid Arteta wins something, and you didn't win a major. Like, we don't call you Lep. We don't gonna call you Pep no more. We gonna call him Lep, 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 with a big L and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? If Arteta wins the Premier, if Arteta wins a major over you, bro. But that's just me, considering how much money he has spent, because we can't ignore that he has spent.
The money's there, man. Hey,
that's the thing is that
I'm saying, man.
No one here is having the conversation that he's washed. We're just saying that we can engage in that conversation if he ends up not winning. Right now, we don't even know what's going to happen. He could go out and win the Premier League next season. He could.
Bear in mind, I'm picking him to win the Prem, people. So this ain't no Pep hate.
Yeah. Not Pep hate. It's just an overall conversation of, like, a general conversation of, like, what, like, because I'm not a fan of just always looking at it from one side of, like, greatest scenario ever. Like, this is going to be the best scenario ever. This is going to be the good. This what's going to happen, and this what's going to happen. It's like the United fans who thought they're going to score 70 goals last season. It's the same thing. Like, they cannot imagine themselves a situation where United can't score 70 goals. But when you realistically, it's possible. But those people, I'm talking specifically that group of people who couldn't imagine themselves that. So I'm just sitting here saying, okay, let me imagine a side where, even though I think Pep is going to recover next season, let me think about a side where Pep doesn't recover next season, and it's going to still be a mediocre season for a City standard. But, hey, man, this is the conversation we're going to see next season.
It's so funny you mentioned that whole 70 goals thing, because I don't get how some United fans think it's crazy that we can't score 70 goals. We haven't scored 70 goals for 4 years. We haven't.
You know what's crazy was that was so much fun about that was the what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? The working out. That was
the calculations. The calculations. So each player.
The calculations. And to Pops, let me get to this. Says your goats at periods of struggle too, and worked in a time where you're allowed time to fail. This isn't the same right now, isn't it? Oh, facts, definitely not. 110% no. However, that's just
again, the period you're in. Same way, if you're a centre back now, you're not facing the level of strikers you were facing in the 90s and the early 2000s. That's not a shot at the best centre backs now.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. Fergie just happened to be in that era. The era you go into and the circumstances under that is not your fault. If you succeed there, props to you. Would Fergie have been allowed the amount of time back then? No, but it was the 80s. Before we could do this, did he even have TV and color in it? Well, he did barely in the 80s. Like, I'm saying it's black and white settings. So, like, that's where it stems from. The one thing I will say is Fergie had a much more, people talk about him underachieving in Europe, which I did. Europe was much stronger. And if you put Fergie in this era playing against these European
Probably
sides,
win.
United were more.
Yeah.
Sides we were facing were ridiculous in Europe.
AC Milan sides, Real Madrid sides.
We look at them sides that one, and we did underachieve in a couple of them years. But
Yeah, we did.
So, yeah, that's what-
it was tough, man.
so
It
even
was
Fergie,
tough.
so Fergie's just, is he fortunate in that sense? Yes. Same with music. Like if you're a street rapper now, you're probably not gonna go platinum. If you're a street rapper in the 90s and early 2000s and are good, you're going platinum. You're going diamond.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Like, it's the era that you're in. That's how I look at it. But you lot make sure follow the Sarcasm City TV playback club where we did the semi-final yesterday. The PSG Real Madrid semi-final will be on there today. Playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV. It's an app just like YouTube. You download from your app store, create an account for free, just like YouTube. You sign up for free, just like YouTube. Then you type in Sarcasm City TV and follow over there, just same way you would. And then you watch and comment exactly like you would on YouTube. www.playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV, or just download the app from your app store. Road to like 1,600 over there, people. Same with Spotify as well, people. Same with Spotify. Also, make sure, well, not the same with Spotify. All the shows, on the channel, apart from watch-alongs, fan calling shows, the gaming content, all on Spotify as well. To Jason, who says 2 Champions Leagues in over 20 years is crazy, flawless. But that's most players, that's most managers' records.
Yeah,
Did he
it's not-
underachieve? Yes, but most managers outside of Ancelotti underachieved in that competition. Who has a better record in that period? Even Pep, as good as he is. How many? Pep got 2 Champions Leagues.
2 year.
Yeah,
So
But,
Pep got 2 in
Barcelona
however
and-
many years.
I think it
Fergie
was
has
one
2 in
versus-
however many years. It's only
Was he the
Ancelotti
one-
that you can say. Go on.
Was he the one that coached the final was Human?
Yes.
Yes.
And then the one against Man
I
City.
think he
the
got
one
3
that he
or
won.
he got 2. Yeah, one
I
second.
think got
Yes, two.
2.
I think he has 2.
I'm gonna double check now.
When did he join Barca?
Yeah, I'm gonna check now.
He joined
Give me-
Barca on 9-10.
Managerial. Yeah, he's got. Tell a lie. He's got 3 Champions Leagues.
Wait,
Oh,
when did he
three.
win his third?
He got
Oh,
08,
yeah,
09,
9,
and
10.
10, 11.
08,
Yeah,
09.
So he's
Oh,
got
God.
3.
I don't know.
So
Who's
Pep.
talking
So
about
Pep.
second against
How many?
Barca?
So how many's Pep got? Pep's got 3 in however many years.
That's like because he
Pep's been
started
managing-
managing at he's been managing in 08.
So he's managed. He started 2008. So from 2008 to 2024, well 2025. Sorry, how many years is that?
17
that's right.
years. That's
So
17
he's got 3 in 17.
Yeah,
Fergie
17.
has
Oh,
2
yeah,
in 10.
listen to this.
Or 2 in 25, 26. No man, like I said, outside of Ancelotti, no one has an exceptional record there. But do I agree he underachieved in Europe? Yes. He should have won at least one more. 100%.
That's the thing.
And
that's-
even
that's cool.
Ancelotti, who's regarded as having a phenomenal
the champion.
champions, yeah,
Actually,
like the goal of the Champions League.
Probably
This
the
shit-
only one.
Oh.
Probably the only one that you can say is probably Zidane as well. But then he three-peated though.
Yeah,
Yes.
Zidane 3
Zidane's the
Yeah,
only
Zidane.
one that stands out. Zidane.
Yeah.
I'm looking there as a manager. So we got 2 at AC. And
2 at Madrid.
he's got 3 at Real Madrid.
3 at Real Madrid.
Off
Yeah.
Real Madrid,
So
yeah.
he's got 5. And he's regarded as
He
one
won
of the GOATs.
2. He won 2 in 2 different managerial stints with Real Madrid. Like he won the
Yeah, 2.
La Decima with them, and then he also won these past like 2-3
Two
years.
in the last 3 years he won 2.
3 years he won 2.
Yeah, so he won 3 at Real Madrid and he won 2 at AC Milan. So he's got 5. Bear in mind, he's been managing since. Allow Regina and Parma stints, but he was at Juventus in 99.
Yeah.
So that tells you how long, and he's regarded as one of the GOATs. Even if you want to exclude the Everton years, exclude that. Exclude the Everton years. So you got AC, Juventus, AC Milan, Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Napoli. Exclude Everton, Real Madrid.
Now,
That's
but
what I watch.
that puts it into the perspective of like it's so hard in football to really have like a dynasty.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes.
Look at how but Messi's last Champions League before he left Europe was 2015,
Yes.
Treble winning season. Yeah.
and it's a super uncomfortable conversation when you have. It's the same conversation as before he won the Copa America.
Mhm.
In terms of like, damn, it was that long since he won the Champions League. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's super hard. Like when you really put it into perspective.
Supremely. What does Pep have to do to say he's better than Sir Alex? Dominate for the next. Because Fergie
Longevity.
dominated pretty much over here for like a couple decades. He started 20.
Yeah, longevity.
20 yeah, longevity. That's what he has
Really
over
bad,
him.
'cause that's what Sir Alex has over him. It's
Yeah,
longevity.
because
He's
you
in
see
it a
how
longer
man are getting
period.
tight. Like you think like all the things that Pep's faced, Fergie didn't face that plus more and face new
Pep's won a
challenge.
treble.
Dominate.
Fergie's won a treble. They've
Yeah.
Pep's four-peated. Yes, we didn't four-peat, but we three-peated.
You should be it twice.
Yeah, three-peated twice.
I'm saying none of this. Oh, I'm tired and 1 in 12, and we seen Pep cracking up on the sideline. Fergie didn't look like that even
scratching
when
his
his
head
team
and all
wasn't
that type of shit. You know, like all that. Man.
dominate
And
again.
we also never won 1 in 12.
Go free Pete. Go free Pete from now. Go dominate. Go because that longevity thing is tough. We're watching Pep be stressed. Klopp got tired. People move. They stay motivated in the same country is extremely tough. That's why most managers don't do it. Because it's extremely tough. This ain't taking anything away from Pep. If someone has Pep over Fergie, I hear it. I won't even argue you down.
Yeah.
I'm not even arguing against it. But to answer Jason's question, that's the major difference. Pep stay here and dominate. That's why you hear talking about, oh, I'm going to leave in 2 years. That's what it is. And don't leave on a loss either. Don't do that.
Oh no. Actually, how would you feel? How would you feel about? How would you feel? Obviously, I know we're dragging this Q&A. I don't know if you wanted this to be this long, but
no, that's cool. Go on. The conversation go good.
The questions are flowing literally when we have the conversation. And how would you feel if he actually goes out on a loss? How would you feel about
from a competitive standpoint? Like remove I'd feel sad. I'm like, is that really how you going out?
I'd be
It's
shocked.
really like a championship boxer in his last bout. I'm like, are you really? And look, I really feel sad, and I feel like we've been robbed of your comeback story potentially.
Then would it make you obviously not to minimize anything what he done prior, but then would it make you then feel differently about him as a manager going forward? Then?
No,
if he would just quit, just like that, if he was to go this season.
No, I just feel like that's a horrible ending.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Really?
It won't change or diminish anything that he's done in the Premier League.
It won't diminish. I don't want to lie. I'd lose a little bit of respect for him.
See, this is what I mean. Like I'd
lose a little bit of respect.
Like this is what I mean. Like in terms of like as a manager, so respect his coaching ability.
I'm like, you really getting ran out by Slot or whoever else. Like you're just going out on a loss.
I bring it up all the time. It would be a taint to his legacy for sure.
Yeah. We were intelligent.
Yeah. I would bring
it
up all the time that it would be a taint.
I would look at it because for me, I would look at it in the same way as when Messi quit on Argentina.
Yes.
This is the way I look at it personally. Like you really just could. You really said, you know what? Because you lost to Chile, by the way, not to Brazil. Not to Uruguay.
You missed a penalty. And you missed a penalty.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you missed a pen as well. So I was like,
you know what I mean? So
and cried and left. Yeah, that's one thing I use it. That's why I've used that against Messi.
Yeah,
like
up until he won the World Cup.
Like, I'm still looking at that. Like, yo, you was ready to call it quits. Suppose he quits, but the next man does the double on the back of his team. It goes to show the quality was there.
Yeah.
If this happens hypothetically.
These are good hypotheticals, though, I would say.
Yeah.
These are good. These are good questions.
It is. Fellas, how do you see the next season going? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's your prediction? As everyone is constructed right now, the 9th of July, 2025. City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle.
To that comment by Pops, by Beijing Pops.
Yeah, how come we got Newcastle 4th and not Chelsea?
I think Chelsea. You know what it is with Chelsea? I just don't think they have enough goals in their team.
Fair enough.
That's what the issue is. Like they're banking on a Joao Pedro or a Bino Gittins or both to
hit G&A we don't expect them to get, which they, like I say, Joao Pedro might, but I just look at it, goals.
Fair enough.
That's what it is. It's for me, it's a goals thing outside of Palmer. Like, and again, this is why I said 9th of July. You had in a Cudis that could change it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Their attack, I don't, even though is their attack better than it was last season? Yes. Still don't rate their attack.
No,
I still don't rate it highly. I think Joao Pedro, good player, yes. Palmer, we can get back to it, still a good player, yeah. Neto, decent. Bino Gittins unknown to me, so I can't really comment like that. Seems like a decent player. Liam Delap, good. As like a back, like I wanted him at United, but as a backup,
yeah.
It goes to show the level that he's at. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough goal.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And Sanchez in goal as well.
Yeah. Oh, she's like that right there. I do think they're gonna address the goalkeeper, but
that's why I said it's restricted 9th of July. You get a goalkeeper or Cudis that can change it. But yeah, Newcastle currently. No Chelsea,
I have a feeling unless Chelsea just say fuck it, we buy Cudis now and wait then for Monday to be sold. I think they're not gonna come in because I don't think Arsenal are. I think with Arsenal they're gonna try and drag this whole Madueke. Yeah, because I saw something about how they are not willing to pay what Chelsea wants. Like they want him and they're willing to pay a certain price, but Chelsea has to drop the price for that. So that could drag kind of on. So I feel, and I'm reading like how Tottenham is willing to put in another bit this week. I better be close to what they actually want, because like if they reject the third bid, I'll leave this, bro. Like, I ain't got no time with West Ham, bro. But just talking about like, yeah, even then, you know my thoughts about Cudis and about Tottenham.
I'm pissed off for not trying to make it to guarantee get top 4. Yeah, currently, and people say like, yeah, I just don't rate again. It's their attack. I think if they pattern like their Chelsea's attack, I look at it and I go, who's scoring your goals?
And even then, like, how many goals did Palmer score in the league, by the way?
Like 50.
I don't think he did. His numbers was good. I think it was more so like overall play.
It was like 14.
Fair enough, because I know his play. Like I wasn't
like out for some time in the season too.
Because like he had 15.
Yeah, look at it. Chelsea scored 64 goals this season.
Yeah, that's nowhere near good enough. Like I think we scored them.
Liverpool, Arsenal, City.
I think we scored them as well.
Brighton, Brentford, all outscored them.
Yeah, I think we even beat them.
Brentford outscored them.
Brentford outscored them, and Spurs got 64. So you scored the same amount of Spurs.
Mad.
Oh shit!
Brentford outscored them. Brentford got 66.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so that's Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Newcastle, Brighton, Brentford. So 6 teams outscored you, and then you were joint with Spurs.
Frank is gonna change my life, bro. Like the fact that we just scored 64 last season, because we didn't even score that. Like Johnson scored. I scored. We just hilarious.
Mad.
Yeah.
You know what?
Brentford went on a mad run where they was the home, like, or their home form was crazy. Like they were the most informed home team in the league at one point.
Now, one thing I give Thomas Frank is he doesn't know how to really coach. He knows how to get goals out of his attackers. You know? He knows how. Like, and credit to him, to be honest. Like losing. By the way, you missed my comment last time in the Man United when.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that was a comment because you was discussion about. There was somebody talking about Embremo and how 65 million more than that will be overpaid, and how his numbers are eyed the previous season.
You know why? Because people just say shit without doing no research.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people, give me your working out. And then even he was like, his numbers ain't all that. Because you know why that is? Man just seeing that he only scored the 20 this season, hadn't got big numbers last season. So like, bro, man didn't check. Man just say anything, man. People just say anything. I ain't gonna run here. If you gonna say something, we gonna make you stand on what you said.
But it's also like they were saying he was overpriced for an extra $5 million. Like that's really.
Yeah, but you know this. And this is the thing, like, because you missed a comment on that day when I was saying how you gotta remember prior to that season, prior to last season, where he scored 20 goals, Tony wasn't the team. So
I see that comment. Yeah, Tony.
So Bremo didn't have the necessary need of. You need to go and score 15, 20 goals because Tony was also scoring 20 plus goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so the burden was on him. And then the one season when Frank is changing the system where, okay, in Bremer, I know your upset is the best. I know how to get the best out of you. And Bremer scores 20 goals. And I think I told it to Cheek, I think yesterday. Well, for him, it's
Today,
still today.
yeah, in the
Yeah, but
college
it's today.
Yeah.
I said one of the biggest things, which I'm interested to see, is I think in Bremer scores goals. I mean, whenever the deal first and foremost gets done, first and foremost, but I'm interested. He's going to score goals, but I wonder how his performance is going to be like because of the fact how I believe Frank was a big driving force of how Visser and Bremo, guys like Damsgaard all performing. And then you have someone like Amun currently coaching. You know what I mean? Like I do think,
Yeah.
even though I
Big
feel like Kuna, is a bit more fine when it comes to. Yeah, I need tactical advice, but I'm a bit more. I can do a bit more of my own. I want to see how he can get in Premier scoring goals because I'm kind of worried about that. Even though I do still think in Premier scores goals because I do think his quality just by himself. But you got to remember, man, Premier's been with Thomas Frank since the championship. People forget that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, man. So yeah, like that's what I was thinking, you know.
I am,
but Bremer's a quality player though, like nonetheless though. Like I don't get necessarily the whole idea of like and of overpaying it, even at this stage of because you've negotiated for so long, you have to pay. It is what it is.
Just pay the fucking money for real. I'm just looking at
so
Chelsea scorers. So Palmer got 15, Jackson got 10, Madueke got 7, Enzo Fernandez 6, Cucurella 5, Neto 4, Sancho 3, and Nkunku 3, Colwell 2, and then Caicedo, Tosin, Reece James, Joao Felix, Tyreek George all got 1.
So Madueke got 4 goals against Wolves and then just scored 3 after that for the rest of the city.
No, he did. No, he did. Bro, I told everybody he like when I think Marshall was trying to say this at one time where like you look at these like on 7 league goals, but 4 against Wolves, so that's against one team.
Yeah, 4 against one
and then
team.
The other two, the other, I think 2 of the other goals are versus another relegation side. I think 2 of the other goals, and then he scored that Fugazi goal versus City where like all he had to do was just tap it in after a mistake. That's it. So this is what I say. I've always felt like yo, his output last season was hella Fugazi personally.
Yeah.
I don't even like doing that. But come on, bro. My eyes don't deceive me when I watch that dude play, man. Flores knows my thoughts on that guy, bro. My eyes are not lying, bro. Even Steve has considered like the Madueke hype to Newcastle, man. He's even fine with Alanga over him. And guess what? I understand it. Because at least with Alanga, like you see with Alanga, at least I understand what his strengths are. I know how I can get the best out of him. Will he perform? I don't know. But I know how to get the best out of him. With Madueke, I'm praying that he will actually perform. I'm praying that he will actually perform on the day. But hey, man.
Hey, you lot continue to run up the likes before we are going to close out in a second as well. I was just checking numbers from last year in regards to teams and the goals spread out and stuff like that just to see how it is. But yeah,
I'm actually surprised we scored 64. I'll be so real because after Johnson, it doesn't feel like we actually had guys.
Yeah, because you lot would batter certain teams at certain points. But I'm looking at even City. Like City, Haaland got 22, and no one else is in double figures. Foden got 7, Mamouche got 7, Kovacic got 6, Vardio got 5, Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne both got 4, Doku and McAtee got 3 each, Stones and O'Reilly got 2, and then Gundogan, Savinho, Rico Lewis, Nunez, and Jack Grealish, and Nico Gonzalez all got 1.
You know what's interesting? Because I'm looking at this actually. I'm looking at the goal scoring right now. It's quite a low scoring. That was last season was quite also Liverpool, and even Liverpool to be fair. There was a low score. This is how I know the quality of this season was bad because it's just a low scoring league. Because I think if you compare from last season, you had City score 96, you had Arsenal score 91, you had Liverpool scoring 86, you had Aston Villa score 76. You had Tottenham score 74, Chelsea scored 77, Newcastle scored 85, and then this is when you go down to guys who scored like 60 or less. But I named you 7 teams who scored at least 70 or more. How many was it last season? Let me go and check. The only team there were only 3 teams last season that scored 70 goals.
Yeah, it was low scoring.
Or more. So So I don't know how this gonna be this season, but I do hear your overall point though. Like goal scoring has been an issue at Chelsea for the longest. It's not even just this season coming up last season. I think even the season prior to be fair, they didn't score necessarily well enough, or it was well spread out at least.
No, exactly that. And to Barrio, no. If Chelsea win the Club World Cup now, I wouldn't change my mind. You lot signings, that's where it is. I don't think there's much in it. I say
Chelsea,
if you lot get a serious attacker, then I look at it and go, all right, he adds to it.
I'm gonna keep it 100, man. If Chelsea wins a glorified friendly, if PSG win, they're the world champions for me. It's as simple as that.
Pops says you could also say the defending was better. They wasn't Pops. Yeah, I don't think the defense. I just think the attackers stink. That's why everybody was looking to striker. Literally the entire division.
Yeah, look at just bar Manchester City. Everyone's looking for a striker.
And then everybody was looking at starting left wingers or starting or starting right winger or all of them or a mix.
That's the funny part is that even though I have my issues with Sri Lanka, and everybody knows how much I rate Sri Lanka, it's actually funny that we're actually not looking at a backup striker at bare minimum. I feel like because Richarlison's our backup striker. My thoughts about that guy. But I don't know what's going on in Tottenham, to be honest. Like, all I'm saying to Thomas Frank is coach, bro. Because if you're not coaching, I'm on your ass, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Coach, you better start coaching, bro.
Hey, Sheik, shout out your channel. Let them know what you got coming up the rest of the week, etc.
Yeah, shout out to you, shout out to Jez, shout out to Fats as well. Big up to everyone in the chat, man. Make sure you guys are running up the likes and subscribing, checking out the Clips channel, checking out the playback, all of that good stuff, man. Y'all can find me on Sheik TV. I should be live tomorrow. I haven't done a United stream in a very, very long minute. Not because I'm avoiding it. It's just because there's not much going around our club, to be honest. So I'll be back tomorrow to just kind of discuss, how our preseason is looking currently at the moment, how the summer transfer window is looking at the moment, even though we talk about it almost every single day. But check that out. And then I think I should be on Sam's channel also at 11 p.m. UK. I think it's like a transfer show. So do check that out as well. And yeah, Sheik TV, road to 1K, people. I think I'm 80 subscribers away, so road to 1K.
How many subscribers away are you?
80 subscribers.
Hey, go subscribe to Sheik TV. Links underneath in the description on the featured channel page as well.
Go to Sheik's channel. What are you guys doing, man?
Yeah, go subscribe. Love to everyone that's locked in. We're back live here. Go on, fam.
Now I just want to quickly say, obviously, people, again to the people that actually follow my Twitch, because obviously we had 100 followers. And also over the last 4 days, I've been doing a lot of rebranding on my channel, new settings and everything. So yeah, I'm going to be live actually today as well on my Twitch. And you can probably see a couple of the new effects, new banners, just a bunch of new stuff which I didn't have last stream that you guys saw me. So is my Twitch channel it's there right there as well. So people, you already know, you heard it from the Sheik, the same thing. Just go to the description. On Twitch, I'm there. Gonna be live today. So before the PSG Real Madrid game. So yeah. So big up, guys.
I'll drop it in the chat. H has just dropped Sheik's channel in the chat. You lot follow Jeff on Twitch. See, boom, it's underneath in the description. It's now in the chat. It's now on the screen, people. So follow Jez's Twitch. Subscribe to Sheik TV as well. What we got coming up here today, 11:30 p.m. UK time. We'll be back, myself and Vader, the United City show. We didn't do it today because obviously the Chelsea game was today, so we knew that'd be the topic of conversation, people. So myself and Vader will be back. We'll be back with that top gaslighter, people. So love to everyone that has locked in for you, and big up to everyone enjoying the show. Big up to Low Fat, big up Pops, Barrio, everyone else in the chat, man. Everyone who's watching is back after. People who are watching who are not in the chat active supporting. PSG Real Madrid, PSG 2-1. I've got Sheik. What are you saying?
Tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
I'll say same 2-1 PSG.
What are you saying, Jess?
I'll say 3-2 PSG.
There we go. That'll be live on the playback as well. We'll be live on the playback for that one.
And then, like I say, YouTube will then be back live for the United City show. We're going to redirect to Gunner. So put Sarcasm City TV raid in this chat. It's been the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. And again, Sarcasm City TV raid in Gunner's chat. Salute.